From Joy and Ralph Ellis Stadium in Irving, Texas, it's another district matchup between the MacArthur Cardinals and the Jesuit Rangers. Hello there, everybody. This is Chris Ackles, Jesuit class of 2009. To my right, my good friend Kevin Fitzsimmons from the class of 2011. To his right, the man, the myth, the legend, Chris Martinez from the class of 78. And to his right, Carson Long from the class of 2026. We are thrilled to be with you tonight for some Thursday night football on the Jesuit Ranger Sports Network. Kevin, we're in for a good one tonight.
Going to be a great night, Chris. Excited about this matchup. The Rangers obviously looking to bounce back after a loss last week to the Lake Highlands Wildcats, who look to be like the strongest team in district. We're back at Joy and Ralph Ellis Stadium here in Irving. A beautiful night for football. The sun just set over the trees across the way. And I think we're going to have a good one on our hands here, Chris.
Yeah, we're back here at Ellis Stadium. We were here a few weeks ago as Jesuit took care of business against the Irving Tigers. That was a win by a score of 52-13. In fact, Kevin, the Rangers have had a pretty good run here at Ellis Stadium in Irving. I believe it's been 10 in a row.
That's right. 3 against MacArthur, 3 against Nimitz, and with our win earlier this year against Irving High School, 4 in a row against the Tigers, all here at Ellis Stadium. So the Rangers look to continue that winning streak here tonight. We talked a little bit about bouncing back. Lake Highlands last week, Jesuit looked strong. Chris, I know you weren't there for that game. Called that one with Tom Walsh and Babe Laufenberg. Chris Martinez with us in the booth as well, obviously. I think the Rangers are starting to click a little bit on offense. And we talk about Beck Berry as he settles in at the quarterback position. We've talked about Cabe Kirby, who's really become a standout wide receiver. And tonight we just got word as well that number 1, senior Harlan Buechler, is going to be back as well. So I think this offense is going to start to click. We've gotten in some good rhythm here now that we're kind of squarely in district play.
Let's welcome in the third member of our broadcast team, Chris Martinez from the class of 1978. Chris, of course, has been at just about every Jesuit football game for the last 27 years or so as we've been getting rolling here on the broadcast. Chris, sorry you have the C team tonight on play-by-play, but good to have you with us.
It's good to be the third man in a three-man booth as opposed to the fourth man in a three-man booth.
There you go.
Last week was a little crowded.
And, Kevin brought up something interesting. In fact, he said it before the season started, but we've had a couple of hiccups at the Hebron game and the first Irving game. This is, Kevin, I'll let you say this stat about Jesuit alums on the broadcast.
Well, I think as we were talking about it, trying to put it together, as you were going to say all of our graduating classes, this is the first ever true broadcast, especially starting at game time, of 3 Jesuit alums all together in the booth. Tom Walsh, you and my dad obviously did many games together, but Tom Walsh, much to his chagrin maybe and much to other people's surprise, is not a grad of Jesuit Dallas. So with Chris Ackles, Chris Martinez, and myself, it's the first time we have 3 Jesuit alums doing the broadcast together.
He's an honorary alum, though. He went to Waco Riker. He just, he was born 90 miles south.
Nothing he could do about that.
And, of course, Carson Long, Jesuit senior, with us here as well. So we're excited to be with you. And appropriately so, the Jesuit alumni director, Sean McMullen from the class of 1996, will be our halftime guest tonight. So in just a couple hours, we'll get a chance to visit with Sean McMullen at halftime. Our pregame show is brought to you by Barrel and Bones Craft Bar and Smokehouse. Barrel and Bones is proud to support Jesuit Dallas and our community. Support local and catch every Jesuit game on the big screen. At Barrel and Bones, you can order online for delivery and use code JESUIT for $5 off your order. Our title sponsor for these broadcasts on the Jesuit Ranger Sports Network is Veritex Bank. Veritex Bank is proud to serve as the official bank of the Jesuit Rangers. We share a strong commitment to serving the community and making a difference in the lives of others. Learn how our shared values make Veritex Bank and Jesuit Dallas a winning team at veritexbank.com, member FDIC. We're about 7 minutes from the opening kick tonight between the Cardinals and the Rangers. Kevin, I got a chance before the game to chat with some members of the coaching staff, ask them for some keys to tonight's game, and one of them you've already mentioned, which is that Harlan Buechler is back on the field for Jesuit.
Yeah, for those of you who join us regularly, no interview with Coach Hickman for tonight. So we're going to talk about a few keys to the game. We know Coach Hickman well enough, right, guys? We can maybe make up a few things we think he would have said. Let's start with the statistic that Chris Martinez has pointed out 2 weeks in a row now, and it's third down conversions, Chris. Jesuit is 21 for 68 on third down conversions. That's 31%. That's not enough, especially in tight games. You want to be able to convert those third downs. For those of you that were listening last week, Tom Walsh, Babe Laufenberg, and I talked about this many times where Jesuit has had too many third and longs. Let's see if we can get those first down yardages, second down yardages, get the third downs to 3rd and 4 or less. 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12, those aren't going to cut it. I think that's number one. Let's make sure that the field, especially on third down, is short for the Rangers. The second, let's talk about getting started early in the first quarter. Were 49 points scored in the first quarter by Jesuit and then 63 by our opponents. Really, when you take into account the Irving game, which we scored about 28 points in that first quarter, Jesuit has not gotten off to hot starts yet in games. Let's see if the Ranger offense can get going early. As we see the coin toss here soon, let's see which way this ball is going to go early. But the offense, I think, wants to get started early, wants to put some points on the board, set the tone for the Rangers from the very beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. Two excellent points and key points to this game. You mentioned the coin toss. Ranger captains Tanner Krug, Cade Kirby, and Beck Berry are out there for the coin toss. Paul Waxman joining them as well, and we're about to find out which team is going to start with the football tonight. You know, you talk about that third and long situation and trying to make sure you're gaining more on first and second downs. The return of Harlan Buechler is really going to help with that. And when I was chatting with co-offensive coordinator Patrick Radican before the game, he talked about how Buechler being back is not only going to help from a wide receiver's perspective, but it's also going to open up the box and allow the running backs to have a little more freedom in the middle because you got to commit guys to the speedy receivers on the outside. So really excited to see what the offense can do tonight with all their weapons back.
Just a real quick point about getting those first downs. If you watched the Cowboy game last week, Rico Dowdle, former Cowboy, it seemed every time he got the ball on first down, he was gaining 7, 8, 9 yards, and that just makes it a lot easier to go those conversions.
Jesuit has Shane Parker back in the backfield now for the last few weeks as well. We know that senior running back Lucas Meyer is running well also. So I think we'll look for Jesuit to start this on the ground from the offense. As you see the players run off after the coin toss, Chris Martinez tells us that Jesuit won the toss and elected to defer. So it's going to be MacArthur's ball first. The Cardinals will receive the kick. Jesuit then getting the ball in the second half, which is a great start, I think, for the Rangers. So we'll look for this defense to get a quick 3 and out, and then for the Rangers offense to take over.
It's the Barrel and Bones Craft Bar and Smokehouse pregame show on the Jesuit Ranger Sports Network, brought to you here on Tradio. Barrel and Bones is proud to support Jesuit Dallas and our community. Support local and catch every Jesuit game on the big screens at Barrel and Bones. Order online for delivery and use code Jesuit for $5 off your order at Barrel and Bones. You got a little bit of crowd noise because Tradio is excellent at putting this product together. Both teams headed out onto the field. It's the Cardinals of MacArthur and the Rangers of Jesuit here in this District 7-6A matchup. Jesuit coming into the game with a 2-1 record in the district. MacArthur with a 1-2 record in the district. And Kevin, as you mentioned, the coin toss results, we are just about 2.5 minutes from getting started here at Ellis Stadium. Veritex Bank is our title partner. They're proud to serve as the official bank of the Jesuit Rangers, sharing a strong commitment to the community and making a difference in the lives of others. You can learn more at veritexbank.com, member FDIC.
Let's talk a little bit about our opponent tonight, Chris. You know, the Irving MacArthur Cardinals, we've only played one common opponent so far in district, and that's Lake Highlands. A couple weeks ago against Lake Highlands, at Lake Highlands, the MacArthur Cardinals lost 42-0. We saw how good Lake Highlands was last week. Obviously, Irving did the week before that. So with Jesuit losing, last week 21-52, you hope there's a little bit of an edge there for the Rangers, having put up a few more points against the Wildcats. The MacArthur Cardinals will look to run heavy. As you see the statistics, they're about 60% run and 40% pass. So I think we're going to look to see a lot of the run game, especially from a few, their kind of dual-headed running back group. That's Wyatt Davis, Jaden Burnett, and then even receiver Banner Nicholas gets in on the running game as well. So I think the MacArthur Cardinals could try to start this game on the ground as well. Like we said, the Rangers might, but I think both teams having lost to Lake Highlands, we'll see what happens early, who sets the tone first.
We're just a few minutes from getting underway here between the Cardinals and the Rangers on Jesuit Football Night on the Jesuit Ranger Sports Network for Tradio. We'll take a 2-minute break for the national anthem, and we'll be right back with game action here on the Jesuit Ranger Sports Network. Thanks for joining us tonight as we pause just a moment to honor our nation with the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner. That's the national anthem here at Ellis Stadium in Irving. We're just a few minutes from getting started between the Rangers and the Cardinals. Chris Martinez, Kevin Fitzsimmons, and I happy to bring the game to you here on a Thursday night edition of Jesuit Ranger Football Night on the Jesuit Ranger Sports Network, brought to you by Tradio. So glad to be here, Kevin. Looking forward to it as Chris Martinez gives us our game time weather information. This is the part at Notre Dame games where I get to have a little bit of fun, Kevin, is when I'm describing the weather, as you know. 80 degrees tonight on this mid-October evening. Winds at 6 miles per hour out of the southeast, gusting up to 15. Humidity of 49% here in Irving.
The folks can't see the beautiful colors in the sky across the way here at Joy and Ralph Ellis Stadium, Chris. We got a mixture of beautiful oranges, pinks, blues as the sun sets here in Irving, and as Cooper Magoo heads out for this opening kickoff. It's going to be a great night of football here in Irving, Texas.
Jesuit tonight is wearing their all-white uniforms, kind of looking like the Naval Academy. MacArthur's got the red uniform tops, the black pants, and the black helmets, kind of a Texas Tech or a Louisville Cardinal look to them.
Texas Tech, that's a good one, Chris. They do look like the Raiders.
MacArthur Cardinals, Louisville Cardinals, maybe.
There you go.
I tell you what, I forgot that Chris Martinez always does the uniform comparisons to college or professional teams. As we've got tonight's opening kick, it's underway as Magoo's kick goes right into the end zone, and we are just about to get started here with MacArthur's offense taking the field.
Let's see what this offense can do. Chris Martinez pointed out before the game that quarterback number 3, Brock Casas-Willis, has no rushing attempts the entire season so far, at least by the statistics that we had. So he looks to be a pocket passer. Again, they'll go with a two-headed running back monster. That's number 15, Wyatt Davis, and number 26, Jaden Burnett. Both of them look to be back in the backfield as the Cardinals start here on first down.
You know, if we're lucky, Kevin, we might get Chris to explain to us the difference in the sack statistic between high school and professional. But for now, we're going to have our opening play as a handoff up the middle. It goes to Jaden Burnett, who bounces out to the left, picks up a couple of yards, and we're underway at Ellis Stadium.
Good tackle that time, it looked like, for Jesuit. That was number 94, Parker Sherman, getting in on the first tackle, though there were several Rangers who dove on top of the pile that time. Like to see this Ranger defense, bring some pressure, Chris.
Yeah, we're just getting started, and don't worry, we will have the score bug up momentarily with the score and the time. And for the time being, we'll keep you posted on the clock as this one's fired off to the right, and that pass is complete. He's short of the line to gain, but Osabavi Amalode makes the catch, and MacArthur's got 3rd and short.
Pretty simple that time. It looked like Casas Willis drops back, 3-step drop, looked to his right, found the open man. 3rd and short now for the Rangers. Like we talked about, Chris, we want to see if we can get the Cardinals off the field early. This is a big time now for the defense to make a stop.
Casas Willis in the gun. He's got Davis to his right. 3rd down, 3 to go. In the gun, firing right. It's complete. It's good enough for a 1st down as Tay Riles was pretty open and just steps out of bounds, picking up about 5 yards.
Looked like it was Cole Wambacher that time. A little bit of soft coverage. 3rd and short. Didn't want to give up the big play. That time the Cardinals pick up the 1st down. Ranger defense will stay on the field. Cardinals, Chris, look like they're content to work at a decently slow pace so far, not hurry into the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, both of these teams, we talk about Jesuit, oftentimes keeps a high tempo. This year it hasn't been too high of a tempo. As this ball, now we're going to see a rushing attempt from the quarterback. It's a rare occurrence for the Cardinals. He picked up about 5 yards there.
Well, and maybe that's right there, Chris, why we see they haven't had a rushing attempt all year. That was number 15, Wyatt Davis. That was a running back who lined up in the quarterback position that time in some sort of wildcat formation. So maybe that's what Chris Martinez is pointing out to us, that a lot of times he'll line up at the quarterback position and then they'll run it with either him or Burnett.
Yeah, Davis in the wildcat there. We're just a minute and a half into the game. We've got no score. To begin the game, Jesuit kicked the ball to the Cardinals, and now MacArthur here picked up 1 1st down, and they're halfway to another. 2nd down and 5 to go from the 42-yard line for the Cardinals. Quarterback Brock Casas Willis back in the game, and we're going to have a whistle and a flag before the snap.
Looks like it was a delay of game that time, as that's what the white hat across the way refers to. Casas Willis just maybe not in enough of a hurry that time, Chris, to get his team to the line of scrimmage. A 5-yard penalty. The Rangers were fortunate that time, and it brings up a 2nd and long now.
Fascinating stat that we saw coming into tonight. Last week, Jesuit had 0 penalties, and it was the 2nd time this year that that's happened. In 6 games, 2 out of 6 games, the Rangers have had 0 penalties, 0 penalty yards. A really disciplined team from Coach Brandon Hickman.
Credit to Coach Hickman and his staff, obviously, for the way that the Rangers play football.
1st down, 10 to go.
Almost got his hand on the football as well. So when you think about the kind of play that is from Wambacher to get outside, to stay with a running back, then make the tackle.
2.5 minutes into the game, Chris.
Actually, it was a loss on the play on the completion.
Yeah, lost a yard, creates 3rd and 11, and this one's going to be fired. Is that ball caught? It is.
Wow.
Boy, that's a great catch by the Cardinals' number 4, Omalade. He's hit pretty hard, but good pass, great catch for Irving MacArthur.
2 Rangers that time in coverage. You see Jack Beret coming across on the coverage, and then that's number 11, Cabe Weissmuller, who comes down from the safety position, puts a big hit that time on number 4 for the Cardinals. That was Omalade again. Nice catch for the 1st down.
Yeah, a couple of guys there. It's not that he was uncovered. It's just that the quarterback, Casas Willis, put it in exactly the right spot. This time he'll put the ball into the chest of Wyatt Davis. He'll pick up a couple of yards. And MacArthur's piecing together a little bit of a drive here as they've got the ball right at midfield for 2nd and 9.
Well, and we talked a little bit about time of possession last week as well. Rangers want to try to get their defense off the field early, as we've discussed already several times. MacArthur content to slow this pace down and take off what's now 4 minutes off the clock so far on their opening drive.
Yeah, no score, 8 minutes to play here in the 1st quarter here at Ellis Stadium. This is going to be a wildcat. It's going to be Davis again with the direct snap. He'll run to his right and pick up 4 or 5 yards. Davis with the run. Joe Norman on the tackle for the Rangers. 3rd and 6 or 7 coming.
You know, for our folks that are watching at home, no trickery so far from this Cardinals offense. It's been power runs and shorter throws other than that 3rd down completion just a moment ago. So MacArthur just looking to move the ball methodically down the field here. Another 3rd down. This Ranger defense needs to make a play here.
This Coach Paul Maturi before the game telling me that MacArthur's got a big offensive line, so it's going to take some effort. This one on 3rd and long is fired off to the right. It's incomplete, but a flag's going to come in late and we'll see if it's on offense or defense. The pass was intended for Omalade. We'll see what the flag's going to be.
Yeah, as the officials confer here, go ahead, Chris. It looks like maybe pass interference.
Yeah, he definitely got there early, but was it a catchable pass? I don't think it was a catchable pass because he really overthrew him by quite a bunch.
I think that's right. Let's see, as the officials continue to have a conversation about this one, I think that's exactly what they're discussing. And obviously, if this is a penalty on the Rangers, then it's going to be a first down for the Cardinals.
Well, you could probably hear it there from the crowd, Mike. The ball is determined uncatchable, so on 3rd and 6, the penalty is picked up, and the Ranger defense has forced a punt here 4.5 minutes into the game.
I think the Ranger defense fortunate that time. It was good coverage. As Chris Martinez mentioned, that ball just overthrown. No way that the receiver was going to be able to make a catch. And in a place where you could go for it on 4th down, although 4th and 6, maybe a little long here in the first quarter, the Cardinals are going to elect to punt this and try to pin the Rangers back.
And have you noticed every one of their pass plays has been to the right side? They have not passed to the left side yet.
And to my knowledge, they've targeted Omalade every time. Now, I think there was one to Davis, but it's clear who their 1A receiver is. That's a really excellent punt. It's going to take a bit of a Jesuit bounce. The Rangers are hoping it'll get in the end zone. It won't. It'll fall on it at about the 2 or 3 yard line, so Corson Lindley will not have a chance to return it, and Jesuit's going to be fighting from inside its own 5.
46-yard punt.
46-yard punt covered well that time by number 33, Anthony Jimenez of the Cardinals. This is going to make this first drive for the Rangers interesting, starting within your own 5-yard line. We talked about how this offense is starting to click a little bit. Let's see what senior quarterback Beck Berry can cue up here for the first drive for the Rangers.
That's right. The Ranger offense takes the field for the first time tonight. Beck Berry standing in his own end zone. As he's going to have to fight his way out from his own 2-yard line. And we'll get started. We're 5 minutes into the game here at Ellis Stadium. They'll hand the ball off to his right. A little bit of juking and jiving and a couple of yards. Flag on the play, though, as I believe that was tied to Bo. And we'll see what the flag's going to be.
Looked like it was maybe number 10 right there, Caden Profit, right in front of DeBow. Might have gotten caught for a holding. And that's what's announced that time by the official.
It's funny, Kevin, and definitely Chris, you've been doing this a long time. We're so used to announcing on the radio. Now we got this video, and people can see better than we can. What? We're up here in the press box.
That's right.
These cameras are awesome.
On that play, too, you're on your only 1.5 yard line. Holding in the end zone, got to remember, that's a safety, so that could have been really close.
Yeah, interesting decision here. They've declined the penalty because the Rangers only gained a yard on the play. They'd rather have 2nd and 9 than 1st and 11.
Interesting strategy. They didn't want to pin him back and go for the safety. Let's see what the Rangers decide to do with it.
2nd and 9 from the 5. Barry looking to his right, throws. There's Harlan Buechler. Ball caught. Buechler only picked up about 2 or 3 yards, but boy, it's good to see him back.
Yeah, it really is good to see him. A nice little hitch route there. Makes the catch, and this is exactly what we talked about before the game, Chris. 3rd and short now, 3rd and less than 5. What are the Rangers going to do as you see Shane Parker running in onto the field for the Rangers? What are they going to do to complete these 3rd down conversions, right? It was 31% that we talked about at the beginning of the game. We got to get better at these down and distances right here.
The completion to Buechler picked up 4 yards, 3rd down, 4 yards to go. DeBow to his right, Barry in the gun. Looking to his left, goes to his first option. It is complete for the first down for Jesuit. Excellent throw and catch at Shane Parker, just as you mentioned, Kevin, on the reception.
Great timing that time, I thought, by Beck Berry to put this ball where Parker can get it. And we see now the Rangers, as they like to do after first down, they go hurry up.
Nagetich on the tackle for the Cardinals. Barry, this time he'll toss it right side. He'll pick up about 5 or 6, is brought down just in bounds. A good tackle there from Bakare, but the Ranger offense has gotten out from inside their own 5.
2 times in a row now going to dynamic wide receiver. Shane Parker makes the catch on one, and then he just off the fingertips, it looked like that time. Just off the fingertips, it looked like that time of Caden Profit. You know, that's a tough throw to make. Beck Berry's going out to his left, Chris. You got to turn your shoulders. He did just that. Your shoulders. He did just that. Throws a little bit high, a little off target.
touched.
Oh, and if it wasn't King that got there, it looked like 2 or 3, maybe a jailbreak blitz that time to get. Now this Jesuit defense has a short field to work with. This is certainly a bend-don't-break situation here as we try to stay level at 0-0 in the first quarter.
5:10 on the clock in the first quarter here at Ellis Stadium. MacArthur's got the ball at the 28-yard line. It's a handoff. I believe it's going to be Davis. It is Davis. And he came close to being tackled behind the line, but instead he'll pick up 2 or 3 before a series of Rangers collapse.
Yeah, that's well done. For anybody that was watching that move, as soon as he caught the ball, he jukes to the right. I think he avoided it. Was Joe Norman who was in the backfield for the Rangers that time. But Rangers continuing to gang tackle here on the defensive side of the ball, Chris. We have not missed too many tackles so far. I love to see the defense running towards the ball. Lots of white jerseys on every pile.
Brock Casas-Willis, this time it's an empty backfield with 5 wide receivers. Looking to his left, throwing, it's caught, and the Rangers are right there. Excellent defensive play from Andres Van. Lost a yard or 2, 3rd and long coming.
Well, and we see what this MacArthur offense is trying to do so far. As you see who caught that ball, Chris, is number 15, Wyatt Davis, the running back, who's all the way out wide left. He's clearly a go-to offensive player for them. You mentioned Van does a great job in coverage, pushes him right out of bounds. We've forced a 3rd and long situation, exactly what the Rangers wanted from this drive.
4-down territory right now also for MacArthur.
Cardinals are going to go 5 wide again. Casas-Willis looking, it's knocked away. Batted out of the air by Parker Sherman. He never let it get to the receiver. 4th and long coming. Nice play by Sherman.
We talked about the discipline on the penalty side of the ball. That's discipline from a defensive lineman right there, Chris. Doesn't jump in on the rush as soon as the lineman lets you through like they do on a screen pass. He stays up, gets those big paws up high. 94, Parker Sherman with a great batted down ball that time. And as Chris Martinez mentioned to us, it's 4-down territory. The MacArthur Cardinals are going to go for it.
3:54 on the clock in the first quarter. Scoreless game. Ranger defense trying to keep it that way. 4th down, 9 to go. Casas-Willis rolling to his right. Throw in deep. It's going to be knocked down, but a flag on the play. Good defense it looked like from the Rangers, number 11, Cabe Weissmuller. Let's see what the flag is going to be.
I'm interested to see what happens here after this conversation. The ref's going to give us the call. Looked like a player had gone to the ground, but couldn't tell for MacArthur if that was because he slipped or if because it was a pass interference.
Defensive holding. The line judge on this side just showed Brandon Hickman that grabbed his wrist. Defensive holding.
It's a holding, not a pass interference, but correct me if I'm wrong, Chris Martinez, that's an automatic 1st down anyways.
Of course, yes.
Well, that's a big penalty in favor of the Cardinals. It'll get them a 1st down. It'll get them into the red zone. 1st and 10, MacArthur at about the 17-yard line. Casas-Willis has Davis just behind him. He's going to turn and hand the ball to him. Davis running up the middle. Doesn't look like he got much. Ranger defensive line keeping him honest, as it was Gabriel James who got there first.
And as we mentioned, lots of different Ranger tacklers. As you see Joe Norman excited coming out of that pile. Looked like he filled the hole. A couple of his buddies came to help out. I like the strategy here for the Rangers, just staying locked in the middle of the field, Chris. We haven't given up too many big plays. The penalty that time, unfortunate. But as we continue to see what MacArthur does, they've been methodical, not a lot of trickery. 2nd down and long. I like the Rangers' chances here on defense.
Turns out Davis lost a yard.
Yeah, Wyatt Davis, 6 carries already, but only 11 yards.
Huge credit to the Ranger defense. Here's Davis again. This time he'll get positive yardage, but not a whole lot of it. He picked up maybe 3 or 4 and is met by a bunch of white jerseys as we've got another 3rd down coming.
3rd down now. You're in your own red zone. Cardinals are driving. Let's see what the coaches here on the defensive side of the ball for the Rangers decide to draw up. Are we going to see some pressure? Are you going to see a Joe Norman or a Cole Wambacher come on some blitz here, or are you going to maybe just play this one safe and try to make them throw it over you for the score?
2 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the first quarter here at Joy and Ralph Ellis Stadium. 3rd down, 6 to go. Ball at the 13-yard line. Casas-Willis in the gun. Davis to his left. Fakes the handoff. Throwing left, and it's going to be incomplete in the front corner of the end zone. Good coverage from the Ranger defense. The pass was intended for Colin Hernandez, and the Rangers force another 4th down.
It's another time. Great coverage by Andres Van there. on our left side of the field, the right side of the field, just does a good job to stay in front of the receiver, makes that ball difficult to catch, and it looks like MacArthur's going to bring on their kicker for a field goal try here to get out in front.
That's right. 2:16 on the clock in the first quarter. MacArthur is going to bring out the field goal unit and attempt a 30-yarder from right in the middle of the field. A 30-yard attempt from Oscar Abrego. The snap, the hold, the kick is up. It's got just enough room, but he missed wide right. Abrego no good to the right. We're 10 minutes into this game, and we remain scoreless.
Fortunate again for the Rangers that time. As you mentioned, that ball had just enough distance. I thought it went through from where we were sitting, but it did not, and the Rangers keep it 0-0.
It had the distance. I want to say thank you to our first quarter partner, UT Southwestern Simmons Cancer Center. It's your home team for cancer care. It's the only NCI-designated comprehensive cancer center in North Texas. It is the absolute gold standard for cancer centers, so a big thank you to the UT Southwestern Simmons Cancer Center. Ranger defense did their job. Now the offense takes the field at its own 20-yard line. Barry's going to have to scramble again. He's looking long. He's got a man looking for Buechler again. Little bit of contact, but no flag on the play as the 1st and 10 goes incomplete.
Well, and the referee was standing there right in front of it. Didn't seem to think that there was enough to warrant a penalty there. Chris, want to take a quick break here as we have 2 minutes left in the first quarter to give a shout out to my good friend who just turned 6 years old today, Jude Urbaniak up in South Bend, Indiana, is listening with his whole family, Mike, Megan, Luke, Felicity, lots of other friends and family there, friends from South Bend who are listening. Happy birthday to Jude Urbaniak, turning 6 years old.
Happy birthday, Jude. It's a big weekend in South Bend with the USC game coming on Saturday. Rangers 2nd and 10. He's going to toss it over to Parker. Parker only got a yard or two and is brought down, unfortunately for Jesuit, another 3rd and long situation. Football coach Chris Hill, who said, yes, we can see better than you. So good to know that the Tradio cameras are working really, really well tonight.
Always good of Coach Hill to keep us honest as well.
Yes, that's right. 3rd down, 8 to go for the Rangers at its own 22-yard line. Barry tried to draw somebody off sides. Didn't work. So on 3rd and long, Barry has Ty DeBow standing to his right and a core of 4 receivers ready. Play clock is at 10. Game clock is at 1:20. We're no score here in the first quarter. Snaps, throws it to his right. There's one to Harlan Buechler that's caught. Buechler dives, and we'll see if he made the line to gain. Harlan Buechler with his 2nd reception tonight. That one he picked up 9 yards. We got a 4th and 1 coming right to the line. They're going forward in their own territory. 4th down, 1 to go. Handoff up the middle. He got it. A gutsy play call from Brandon Hickman, Patrick Radican, and Coach Livingston, and the Rangers pick up 3 when they need it badly. 1st and 10, Jesuit.
I think folks could see it from the camera angle we have here. As soon as Harlan Buechler got up off the ground after making that catch on 3rd down, Coach Hickman was motioning to the offense, wanted to get to the line quickly, get the ball across. That's a gutsy call, as you mentioned, Chris, with 30 seconds left in the first quarter. And now the Rangers have a fresh set of downs, can work with a little bit of pace.
And what makes it gutsy is it's on your own 29-yard line, right? So a gutsy call pays off for Jesuit, 3-yard gain, 1st and 10. Barry looking long again, throwing deep, and it's just a bit overthrown. That time it was intended for Cade Kirby. I tell you, they're making the cornerbacks and safeties work pretty hard tonight.
Jesuit's looking down the field. I mean, Beck Barry's got a good arm. Clearly he can throw the ball down that way. It was good coverage that time for the Cardinals by Jaden Jedich, it looks like, and you know, that time it's Cade Kirby's maybe first target of the night. I will have to ask Chris Martinez if that's the case. But Cade Kirby, you know, has been the leading receiver so far for the Rangers, 5 touchdowns. And so maybe we continue to try to get him involved there on the left side of the offense.
2nd down, 10 to go. Jesuit at its own 32-yard line. Barry's looking deep again. This time it's Buechler, and this time it's just incomplete. Buechler on his way back from an injury, had a completion earlier. He's caught 2 passes tonight. That one just in and out of his hands.
Yeah, unfortunate again. We just mentioned it, the arm of Beck Barry. He's freewheeling tonight, I think, Chris, and he's put some balls in places where the receivers can catch them. Continuing to dial back in, right? We talked about this as soon as folks came back from non-district, right? It just takes a little bit of time to click. We've mentioned Harlan Buechler's been out for several weeks with an injury. It just takes time to continue to build that chemistry.
3rd and 10 at the 32. Barry looking to his left. It's Cade Kirby. It's caught. Kirby's going to do the rest of it himself. A lot of yak yards for Cade Kirby. He caught the ball at the line of scrimmage. He picked up 13 yards on his own.
Love that jailbreak screen on the outside. Babe Laufenberg said last week that's one of those plays that looks like when it works well, everybody's happy with it. Great call, coach. And when it doesn't, it looks terrible. But as the Jesuit Rangers end the first quarter here, it's a nice little momentum to get a first down.
That's the end of the first quarter, brought to you by UT Southwestern Simmons Cancer Center. Start cancer care with the highest level of expertise. UT Southwestern Simmons Cancer Center, with locations around Dallas and Fort Worth for your family fighting against cancer. Thank you to UT Southwestern Simmons Cancer Center for being our first quarter partner. We're here on Tradio. We're excited to have you with us. I know the score bug's not working yet, but there's nothing to show you yet because our score is 0-0 after one quarter here at Ralph and Joy Ellis Stadium.
I just double-checked the notes, Chris, of all the games we've played so far this year. This is only the second for the Rangers where they did not score in the first quarter, the only other one coming against Highland Park early in the season in non-district. So a little bit of a rare showing here from the Rangers to not get points on the board in the first quarter. We talked about wanting to win the first quarter before the game started, but you don't lose it either when it's 0-0 and the Rangers have the ball, hopefully threatening to score here with a new fresh set of downs.
Well, they kind of did win it when they had the punt blocked, and MacArthur started on their own, or Jesuit's 28-yard line, and held them to 0 points.
Yeah, no doubt. And right before, the play before that was when Jesuit had an opportunity to score and missed it. So huge momentum swing, but the defense did a great job of making sure that momentum didn't turn into points. Here come the Jesuit Rangers now. It's going to be a toss to Parker. Parker's going to pick up about 12 or 13 yards. Again, Jesuit kind of squirreling its way to 12, 13 yards.
And as Chris Martinez loves to remind us, that is a pass play, folks, in high school. Because Beckberry flipped the ball right in front of him, then that counts as passing yards and then also receiving yards for Shane Parker.
Second down, 10 to go from the 40-yard line. Flag and whistle. It looked like somebody may have moved a little bit early. We mentioned UT Southwestern as the first quarter sponsor. The second quarter partner is Veritex Bank, proud to serve as the official bank of the Jesuit Rangers, sharing a strong commitment to serving the community and making a difference in the lives of others. Learn about the shared values of Veritex Bank in Jesuit Dallas at www.veritexbank.com. Member FDIC.
Well, and as we see an injured player go down on the field, Chris, give us a timeout and a chance to kind of talk about here what the rest of the schedule looks like for the Rangers after this, looking ahead from MacArthur. Continue with our district schedule. Next week, it's homecoming. We'll talk to our halftime guest tonight, Sean McMullen, Director of Alumni at Jesuit, about that. Homecoming is going to be against Richardson High School. That's at Jesuit next Friday, the 24th. You and I have that game together, Chris.
That's right.
And then we're on the 31st, happy Halloween. We're going to be at Wildcat Ram Stadium against Richardson Berkner. And then finishing off the district slate on November 7th,
Chris,
back here at Joy and Ralph Ellis Stadium against Irving Nimitz.
Real quick point on the game on Halloween. When I used to do stringing for the Dallas Morning News, when there was a game on Halloween, the editor said, do not mention anything about Halloween in your write-up. You're trying to be creative.
First down for Jesuit. Speaking of creative, the Jesuit offense gets creative with a toss situation. Buechler goes down. He picked up about 4 or 5 yards. Chris, are you going to, if we can get a camera up here in the booth, will you dress up for Halloween in a costume?
Can I paint my face?
Yeah, let's do it. We'll get a camera up here, and we'll have a little contest among the three of us. People can tweet in who they think wins. Speaking of Twitter, follow us on Twitter or X or whatever it is, Radio Jesuit, at Radio Jesuit. Carson Long, Jesuit Senior, running the Twitter for us tonight. Feel free to say hello to us on Twitter. We'd love to say hello to you on the air. Second down, it's a free play as MacArthur jumped off sides. The free play is going to turn into an incomplete pass intended for Kirby, but the Rangers are going to pick up 5 yards because somebody in red jumped.
It's nice coverage that time by Rolando King for anybody who was watching, even though it was a free play there. Jumped up and batted that ball out of the air in a kind of a jump ball situation with Cade Kirby. As you mentioned, Chris, it's a free play situation, and so Rangers will get 5 yards here and be, it says third down on our markers. It should be second down after the penalty there, so it should be second and about 8.
Yeah, it's going to be second down, 8 to go here for Jesuit at the MacArthur 38-yard line. We're just in the early stages of the second quarter here at Ellis Stadium. 0-0 is your score. Though MacArthur's had some opportunities and a missed field goal, the Jesuit defense has kept him off the board. Hand off to Parker. He'll pick up a few, but we've got a 3rd and 5 coming now for the Rangers. See what they can do on 3rd and medium range.
Well, another 3rd down for the Rangers. We've talked about it enough. Would love to see this one get converted as we want to get into the red zone, Chris. The Rangers so far this season have scored on 11 of their 13 trips into the red zone, 8 touchdowns and 3 field goals. So would love to see this ball get into the red zone where Rangers can put some points on the board.
3rd down, 5 to go from the 35-yard line. Barry, somebody may have jumped again. No flag, though. Barry's looking deep. It's Kirby to his left. Incomplete. Cade Kirby had a shot at it. Good defense there from MacArthur. 3rd and 5 falls incomplete. 4th down coming, but hey, it's 4-down territory.
Boy, just another one of these balls beautifully thrown by Beck Barry. In the vicinity of Kirby, thought he might have a chance at it. It's good coverage on the outside that time by number 8. That's Jaden Jedich for the MacArthur Cardinals. And here come the Rangers on 4th down.
Buechler and Profit to the right. Parker and Kirby to the left. MacArthur jumped. Free play. Throwing left to Kirby again. This time it's caught at the 5-yard line. That is Cade Kirby in the end zone for a touchdown. A 35-yard strike. Beck Barry has put it in the vicinity all night, and this time Cade Kirby pulled it in, and Jesuit strikes first.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. That's the exact same route and play we just ran. You saw the defensive back for the Cardinals celebrating after 3rd down as the ref tells us here that this penalty is declined, obviously the offsides. Kirby just sticking with it. Barry sticking with it. Throws it right on the money. A great catch and touchdown for the Rangers to pull out to an early lead here early in the second quarter.
How about Trey Bell and the Tradio team? First graphic of the night is a touchdown Jesuit graphic. I love it. They're working hard over here. We love having them. First graphic's a Jesuit touchdown. 6-0 lead for the Rangers. Magoo on to try to hit the PAT and turn it into 7-0. He does. Jesuits on the board first. We're 2 minutes into the second quarter. Jesuit with a 7-0 lead.
Well, Cade Kirby, folks, comes into this game with 27 receptions for 334 yards and 5 touchdowns as long as 54. That adds to it tonight as he goes for his 6th receiving touchdown of the season. Happy to give us the scoring drive here, Chris.
Chris Martinez is writing down the scoring drive and handing it to me. You have a headset. You forgot you had a headset.
But there's a sponsor on here, too.
Oh, there you go. There you
go. Read the sponsor.
Scoring drive here is going to be brought to you, folks, for the first time tonight by Vanguard Auto Group. Is proud to stand behind Jesuit Athletics with GMC, Kia, and Ford dealerships in the DFW Metroplex and surrounding areas. We're here to be your hometown dealer. Visit VanguardAutoGroup.com and schedule your test drive today. Go Rangers. Chris Martinez.
That was a 12-play drive, 80 yards, 4 minutes and 9 seconds. Kirby, a 35-yard pass from Beck Barry. That was his 6th receiving touchdown of the year.
Guys, we got the score bug up, and look at this monitor over here. This looks awesome. You don't need us anymore. They don't need us. This looks great. Thank you to the team at Tradio, and thank you for joining us here on a Thursday night edition of Ranger Football Night on the Jesuit Ranger Sports Network. MacArthur's had some opportunities, and they've got the ball back. They're going to try to get on the board. Jesuit strikes first as Beck Barry hit Cade Kirby in the left corner of the end zone to put the Rangers on the board. The second quarter is brought to you by Veritex Bank, proud to serve as the official bank of the Jesuit Rangers, sharing a strong commitment to serving the community and making a difference in the lives of others. Visit veritexbank.com, member FDIC.
No surprise that time on the kickoff as folks continue to watch this great cast we have from Tradio. That was number 14, Joe Norman, who had a big hit on the returner. And the MacArthur Cardinals now going to start with this ball behind their own 20-yard line, Chris.
Brock Casas-Willis, the quarterback, he'll pitch it over to Davis. Davis is a huge part of this MacArthur offense. He lost the football, and I believe the Rangers have it. He lost it. Jesuit fell on top. Jackson Gare fell on it. And the Rangers look like they may have they've taken over at the 15-yard line.
What a great, fortunate play that time. It looked like Jackson Gare, Chris, was on the ground. The ball fell out of who was it running that time? Wyatt Davis's hand, and it just fell into Gare's hands, right into his lap.
It was a little bit of a Jadeveon Clowney crawling towards the football there for Gare, which, by the way, this is Jesuit's second game at Ellis Stadium this year. That's Gare's second fumble recovery. He had a scoop and score here a couple weeks ago against the Irving Tigers. So good mojo in this stadium for Jackson Gare. Ranger offense takes over at the 15-yard line, hands the ball off, and Jesuit has got things going now on the offensive end, trying to add to a 7-0 lead.
Yeah, as we continue to talk about this offense, want to make mention of something we talked about last week as well, with a couple of starting offensive linemen hurt. So far, the Rangers' offensive line tonight, Chris, has looked great. Good protection for long throws for Beck Berry. That time out in front of Ty DeBow for a couple of yards. So love to see these new guys stepping up.
2nd and 9. Berry offering off to his left. Here's Cade Kirby. He's got a whole bunch of blockers in front of him, and he will waltz on into the end zone. Great Jesuit blocking. We'll try to pick up who was there. I saw the Rangers number 52, Eric Landis. I believe I may have seen Barnaby Cox in there as well. Great blocking from Jesuit. Great play call.
What a timing by my comment about the offensive line, Chris. And then the big men get out there on the screen pass. It's Cade Kirby again who gets in for the score. Definitely want to shout out, it was number 71, Ben Bummer. He had a big hit on one of the linebackers or the defensive backs for the Cardinals.
What's so funny about that play is because the offensive line's got to go get to that spot, Berry looks like he's in trouble. Right? I mean, you get the snap, was we got a timeout here, so we got some time to talk through it. You see the snap. Berry is instantly retreating. He looks like he's in trouble because half his offensive line is going to block for Cade Kirby, and then the play develops. You go, oh, that's a genius way to pick up 15 yards and a touchdown.
Love the way that Beck Berry sells it that time too, right? He runs out to his right, looks like he's in trouble, very calmly looks back to his left, puts plenty of air under the ball for Kirby to go and get it, and a great score that time for the Rangers. Want to make a quick point before Chris Martinez brings us the scoring drive about turning defense into offense, thanks to the great work of our sports information director, Brian Henry. Jesuit defense has collected 7 turnovers this year, and the offense have scored on 3 of those opportunities. Tonight, then, that makes this the 4th score right after a turnover for the Rangers, converting defensive turnovers into offensive points.
Points off turnovers are always big.
Go ahead, Chris.
Are we going for 2?
You got scoring drive? Well, there was a timeout.
Vanguard Auto Group, the scoring summary.
Yeah.
The scoring summary is sponsored by Vanguard Auto Group. Vanguard Auto Group is proud to stand behind Jesuit Athletics with GMC, Kia, and Ford dealerships in the DFW Metroplex and surrounding areas. We're here to be your hometown dealer. Visit VanguardAutoGroup.com and schedule your test drive today. Go Rangers.
Magoo on for the PAT, his second attempt in about 3 minutes of game clock. It's good. Jesuits got a 14-0 lead.
All right, that scoring summary, 2 plays, 16 yards, took all of 38 seconds. Kirby, 16 yards from Beck Berry. That's his 2nd touchdown tonight and his 7th overall this year.
Well, and we talked about time of possession, Chris, at the beginning of this game, and the MacArthur Cardinals kind of had a slow, long first drive in that first quarter. When the Rangers start the second quarter, it's 0-0, and they're at about midfield.
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
that's right.
Less than 3 minutes later, it's 14-0 Rangers. You take advantage of your opportunities to score. You take advantage of things like getting the penalty call. You know, it's great coaching, I think, by Coach Hickman to continue to press early in this second quarter. And now all of a sudden, you can breathe a little bit up 14-0 with 9 minutes left in the second quarter.
As is so often the case, the offense gets the stats, the offense gets the attention. But let's think about what the defense has done. The defense had a really tough task because MacArthur had an opportunity to take the lead at the 30-yard line after a blocked punt, and the defense did its job, kept MacArthur off the board. And then the next MacArthur possession, Jackson Gare picks up a fumble, and Jesuits' offense takes over at the 15-yard line. So the defense has a lot to be proud of. Not only has Jesuits' offense put up 14 points, but just as important, the defense is responsible for the goose egg next to MacArthur's name on your screen.
On a number of occasions, as we've mentioned, they've stood tall against the MacArthur offense as that kick goes through the touchback. For a touchback here, we're going to get started with the MacArthur's really, in some ways, their first drive so far of this quarter. I think they had one play where Wyatt Davis fumbled it there on the first run after the kick. So they'll look to now bounce back a little bit and see if they can get that offensive flow going. Of course, the Rangers want to continue to be stalwart here and make this MacArthur offense work. We'll see what happens here as Casas Willis steps back up in the shotgun with both of his running backs behind him, or to his right and left, for first down.
Cardinal offense takes over at its own 25-yard line with 9:08 to play here in the second quarter. Handoff, and Davis will pick up a few and get knocked away. Now that our graphics are up and running, we want to say thank you again to our first quarter sponsor, UT Southwestern's Simmons Cancer Center. You got the name up there on your screen. Check them out. Google them. A phenomenal partner of ours in the first quarter. And we mentioned Veritex Bank, our second quarter sponsor. And we appreciate the folks at Tradio as we're up and running on this beautiful broadcast here on Thursday night for Jesuit Ranger football.
I want to point out something real quick. We've seen 9 carries by Wyatt Davis. The other running back, Jaden Burnett, has not carried the ball yet. He's been, one of the two-headed monsters.
Well, they do play action, faking it to Burnett. This ball's picked off. The Rangers have it into the end zone. It's a pick 6 for Jesuit. Cole Wambacher grabbed it out of the air and waltzes it in. The Rangers are up 21-0.
Look at the tiptoe along the sideline that time from Wambacher. The ref is right there. I don't see anybody calling for him to be out of bounds. The whole Rangers team and coaching sideline was there, Chris. Cole Wambacher dancing along the left side all the way in for the score.
Really great pressure from the Jesuit defensive line. It forced Brock Casas-Willis to get rid of the ball faster than he wanted to, and there's Cole Wambacher who picks it off, carries it, stays in bounds, and then carries it into the end zone. Chris tells us 23 yards on the return as the PAT. Magoo will come on and attempt his third PAT in the last 4 minutes. What you like to see if you're a Ranger fan, like the others, this one is good. And this quarter started 0-0. 3 minutes and 42 seconds in. Jesuits got a 21-0 lead.
Just needed that number on the scoreboard to change from 1 to 2, Chris,
Yeah,
in order
right.
for this offense and now this defense to get going. I know, folks, we can't see the replay that time, but boy, did Cole Wambacher ever make a nice play. It's a good for him to come up with that catch alone. It's a great interception. Of course, as soon as he gets his eyes down the field, he sees he's home free into the end zone if he can stay in bounds. And,
Yeah.
of course, he does all the way in. I mean, just a phenomenal play that time from Wambacher. He is the senior linebacker, and I believe leading this team in tackles so far this year.
And what I love about that is we just got finished saying that the defense has had a great night, and now they've got points, defensive points to show for it from Wambacher. 21-0. No scoring drive for Jesuit on the defensive touchdown, but a 23-yard return as the Rangers' number 18, Cole Wambacher, takes care of business for Jesuit, and you see him there on the screen, the senior linebacker for Jesuit.
Magoo might get tired of kicking here pretty soon. He's 3 PATs,
Yeah.
and now his third kickoff so far of the second quarter. His legs got to be
quarter.
feeling good and warmed up at this point, Chris.
Well, Kevin and I both, we had a birthday shout-out earlier. We heard from head coach Chris Hill earlier. Feel free to say hello. Shoot us a tweet at Radio Jesuit, or if you got our phone number, shoot us a text to Chris Martinez, Kevin Martinez, or Chris Martinez, Kevin Fitzsimmons, or myself. And we also want to make sure we say another thank you to Carson Long, who's here with us tonight, Jesuit senior. He's tweeting for us, spotting for us, doing it all up here.
Yeah,
So
I think next time Jesuit gets the ball, I see J.P. Livingston warming up on the sideline, so he may be getting a series or two coming up.
yeah, J.P. Livingston, I believe, a sophomore quarterback
That's right.
for the Rangers.
He's been known to air it out, too, every time he comes in, Chris. He's got a big arm, and he's not afraid to use it. So we'll continue to watch that closely, folks, as Casas-Willis is now back for the MacArthur Cardinals.
Looks like he's got Davis behind him. It's going to be Davis with the ball off to his left. He'll pick up a few yards and is brought out of bounds. Davis seems to be the heart and soul of the MacArthur offense. He's done a lot of work tonight.
A lot of touches for him, for sure.
10 touches for Wyatt Davis already,
There you
but
go.
only 24 yards.
That's why we keep Chris Martinez around right there immediately at the number. I mean, that was perfect.
I'm telling you, I had to remind him he had a headset, and now he's gonna.
He's ready to use it. Just want to point out for that time for the Rangers folks, Andres Van does not get credit for the tackle, but he did a great job to come up to the line of scrimmage and push Wyatt Davis out of bounds for just a couple yard gain. That's something that doesn't show up in the stat book, but that's a big time big-time play.
Costas Willis under center. Haven't seen that yet tonight. He rolls out, throwing up the middle. It's caught. It's going to be a first down for the Cardinals. A nice play design and a nice throw and catch. Derek Washington on the reception for the men in red. First down, Irving MacArthur.
Well, the play action and the rollout that time worked for MacArthur, as you mentioned. Washington wide open, really, over the middle. Good tackle to come back from the linebacker position from Wanbacher. And that's a first down for the Cardinals. We'll see. This Ranger defense obviously been on the field a little bit after the score. You just go right back onto the field when your teammate puts it in from the defensive side of the ball. So maybe a little bit out of breath here. We'll see if they can stop the Cardinals.
Yeah, they've had a great night so far. The Cardinals going to see what they can do. Costas Willis in the gun, throwing to his right. It's incomplete. Looked like he got out of the tackle box and threw that one away. Costas Willis has some. He can move a little bit, but he's a shorter player, a tough kid, good arm. He can move a little bit, and the Ranger defense has kept him running.
Credit that time to the Jesuit defensive line, Chris. I think they only brought 3. I saw both Duncan Blankenship and senior captain number 3, Tanner Krug, break through the line and bring some pressure. That forced Costas Willis to basically throw that ball away out of bounds, and it's 2nd and long now for the MacArthur Cardinals.
2nd and 10 from MacArthur's own 43-yard line here in the second quarter. Jesuit leading at Ellis Stadium. Costas having to move again and throw across his body. It's going to be incomplete. Knocked down. I believe that was Andres Van again. Boy, he's had a night.
Really great job all the way through from the Jesuit defense that time. Costas Willis rolling to his left. He's forced to continue to move to his left, even though he wants to stop and throw that ball. Van, as you mentioned, Chris, down the field, does a great job to stay in between the receiver and the ball and just knocks it out of bounds with his left hand. Not much better you can think of to draw that play up from the Ranger defense.
A 3rd and 10 now coming for MacArthur. Jesuits defense has kept him off the board so far tonight. 10 seconds on the play clock as the Cardinals are ready. Costas Willis back, got the time, throwing long, nobody's home. Ranger defense almost had a chance at a pick. Weismiller was the closest to it, but that's incomplete. And with where this one is located, it's probably a punt coming for MacArthur.
Well, folks can see the stands, I think, on the far side of the field a little bit. If you heard it in the crowd mic that time, a good bit of noise coming from Jesuit sideline that time on a 3rd down. A good crowd out here of Ranger fans on a Thursday night, so credit to them for making a little bit of noise on a 3rd down.
The Jesuit crowd is probably outnumbering the MacArthur crowd tonight. You don't see that on a visiting game.
Especially on a Thursday.
We got replay up and running, so they officially have a better view of the game than we do, as this punt's going to get away and the Ranger offense will take the ball back. It looks like they'll start at their own 30-yard line. But what a second quarter here for Jesuit. I mean, defensively continued to keep the Cardinals off the board. The defense has 7 points of its own thanks to a pick 6 from Cole Wanbacher, and the offense has put 2 more in the end zone. Jesuits up 21-0.
Well, and that's exactly right, Chris. And if you're just joining us, you might think, well, the Rangers must have got off to a hot start in the first quarter here. They're up 21-0. Not the case, right? They scored 3 touchdowns in 4 minutes here from 12 minutes to 8 minutes left on the second quarter. And now, as Chris Martinez rightly predicted, J.P. Livingston in at quarterback for the Rangers on this drive.
Livingston in the shotgun. He's going to throw on his first attempt. There's a flag on the play. He's going to go long. It's Harlan Buechler, and it just falls incomplete. There are 2 different flags on this play. But, man, you talked about Livingston having an arm. He showed it off there. That ball was in the air for 50 yards.
No surprise that he gets right in the game and is airing the ball out. As you mentioned, Chris, 2 different penalties. I think we're going to see a holding penalty on the Ranger offense and then maybe a defensive pass interference.
Holding, offense 71, pass interference, defense 2, those penalties all set, replay the down.
Well, I think you could hear it on the mic there. Kevin, you nailed it. Holding on the offense, pass interference on the defense. We'll just act like it never happened and go 1st and 10 again.
Like to see the Ranger offense here with both Shane Parker and I think that's Ty DeBow to J.P. Livingston's right. If not, it's Lucas Meyer. Like this 2 running back set.
Going to hand the ball off to the man to his right. Is that DeBow?
I believe
it is. Picked up about 3 or 4.
Good to see the Ranger offense just getting a little bit of rhythm now with J.P. Livingston in at quarterback. We tried the first play. Baum not doing that time. This time it's Ty DeBow, just trying to make it a little bit shorter for the Rangers. It's 2nd and mid now, as we talked about, trying to make those 3rd down shorter all night long.
And really, the Jesuit offense has not been afraid to air it out all night, whether it's Barry or Livingston. Clearly, Coach Livingston and Coach Radican have seen something out of the corners that allow them to do that. This one's going to get thrown off to the left. It's caught by Parker. I believe he's right at the yard to gain. He is. He picked up a first down. Nice catch by Shane Parker with a guy right there on his back.
Really good catch that time. It's zone coverage for the Cardinals. It's number 8, Jaden Jedich, who comes in, hits Parker as soon as he catches it, but Parker manages to come down with the ball, as you mentioned, and I think that's DeBow again that time for a short gain on first down. We've used Shane Parker sparingly so far, but when he's been in the game, Chris, they're looking for him.
Yeah, picked up 3 there, I believe, DeBow on the first down. But, we talked about the Rangers going deep, and I said it could have something to do with Jesuit feeling like they can take advantage of cornerback. But it also clearly has a lot to do with Harlan Buechler being back.
The speed on the outside has really been an advantage. And even the times where he hasn't come down with it, he has been in positions to catch deep balls.
Livingston firing up the middle. That ball's caught. I believe it is. Yep, that's Parker again. Right up the seam. Parker picks up about 15 yards, and Jesuit is back in Cardinal territory.
That's really good job, I think, by the receiver that time. It's just a little bit of an out route by Shane Parker as we see the replay here. He's coming from that second position in the trips right. He just finds the open space. He finds the open space, and Livingston finds him. It's a good catch between 3 different Cardinals. First down for the Rangers.
Shane Parker's 5th catch of the night.
Livingston handing the ball off. It looks like DeBow again, and just like the past few first downs, DeBow picks up a couple of yards. And, yeah, you're right. I mean, finding the open space, the secondary looks like it has some holes in it, and the Jesuit receivers have done a really good job of finding those holes and either parking there or sprinting to them and giving Barry, or in this case Livingston, a chance to see him.
And credit to Livingston for finding the open guy that time. I love to see him just making an easy throw. Again, a sophomore, he's come in, he throws the ball downfield a lot. Like to see him hit the open man. As we see now, Lucas Meyer back in the game for the Rangers in that up back position with Ty DeBow on the side of Livingston.
Livingston hands the ball to DeBow. He'll pick up a yard or 2. And, something we discussed before the game, and in talking to Coach Radican before the game, just the box opens up. Everything opens up when you have speed, and that's what Buechler. Harlan Buechler had a couple of plays earlier tonight that he felt like he should have caught. But when I want to make a comment about that a little bit later, I'll talk about what the coaches did. But just him being on the field makes such a difference for this Jesuit offense.
You're absolutely right, Chris. He is attracting defensive attention.
Yes.
He's attracting offensive looks. And that means that as a defenseman, you're going to pay attention to that. And as you said wisely, it opens up the rest of the field for the rest of this offense.
3rd down, 8 to go. Livingston looking to his right. Thrown, caught a little bit. No, did he get the first down? He may be a little bit short. He got it. He got the first down. That's Harlan Buechler. We were just talking about him. Key reception there. Keeps the Jesuit offense on the field at the MacArthur 34-yard line.
Well, and we talked about his speed. As you see this, though, on the replay, that's just a great job of getting to the sticks. Livingston throws the ball to him. He goes to the ground, makes a nice catch for a first down. That's good receiver skills. That's not just beating somebody down because you're the fastest guy on the field. That's doing the right thing on the offensive play.
Ty DeBow on first down again, picks up 3 or 4. What I was going to say about that, so 2 different plays where Buechler felt like he should have caught it, hit him in the hands, and it dropped. After the second one, I watched 3 different Jesuit coaches walk up to him, pat him, say, look, you're good, you're going to get it back. And just continuing to affirm to him, hey, we're not going to stop throwing the ball to you. And even since those 2 misses earlier, he's been targeted 3 or 4 times. He's got 2 or 3 catches. There he picks up a crucial first down. And now after DeBow picked up a few, it's 2nd down and 6. Rangers at the 30-yard line. Livingston in the gun. He's got 4 wide receivers to his left and Cade Kirby off to his right. He'll get the play in. And here we go, 2nd and 6, tossing it over to Parker. Parker's got the block he needs. He's got the hole he needs, and he goes up and picks up about 15 yards off to the left. First down for Parker, a key block for Jesuit, and we're moving again.
Parker does a great job that time to make a man miss, to make this what's likely a almost 20-yard gain that time for the Rangers. As you see here, evades the tackle, cuts to the inside, cuts it back to the outside. Almost has a touchdown here if he can break this last one. It's a timeout, it looks like, the 2-minute timeout as we approach here the end of the second quarter. statistics. I believe, guys, that's J.P. Livingston's first touchdown pass of the year, so that's exciting for him.
That's awesome.
As it's Cade Kirby's third of the night on the receiving side, but Livingston's first of the year, second of the year, excuse me. That's right. I'm looking at
what happens when we try to do
I know.
Chris
Look at that.
Martinez's
I'm looking
job.
at here I am, folks. Just so you know, I'm looking at the rushing statistics.
There we
The
go.
passing statistics are just one section down, as
Yeah.
Chris Martinez kindly points out. He does have one passing touchdown so far this year. That's his second. But again, Cade Kirby's third of the night.
Scoring summary: 11 plays, 70 yards, 5 minutes and 28 seconds taken off the clock. Cade Kirby's third touchdown tonight.
That scoring summary is brought to you by Vanguard Auto Group, is proud to stand behind Jesuit Athletics with GMC, Kia, and Ford dealerships in the DFW Metroplex and surrounding areas. We're here to be your hometown dealer. Visit VanguardAutoGroup.com and schedule your test drive today. Go Rangers. I was a little nervous about that sponsorship, Chris, in the first quarter. It's been what we've called the best bang for your buck all season long with how many points are scored in these games. And so now we've gotten to read them a few times here in the second.
Chris, did you say third touchdown of the night for Cade Kirby?
Yes, he's got 4 passes, 3 for touchdowns.
Oh, that's awesome. What a night. And on that one, he kept it in bounds just barely. And I know we've said this a lot, but I'm going to say it again. If Harlan Buechler's not on the field, Cade probably is facing the number 1 cornerback, and this is a very different game.
I think that's a good point, Chris. Cade Kirby's been our best receiver all year. You continue to put talent around him. We've seen the kind of plays that Shane Parker makes. We've seen the kind of ways that Harlan Buechler is open on the field. And so it's just too many weapons, it feels like, right now for this Ranger offense, and the MacArthur defense doesn't know where to turn.
Yeah, Davis picks up a couple of yards on a handoff. And the point there is not to say that, this whole thing revolves around one player. It's to really illustrate the teamwork that it takes to put a productive offense on the field. Same can be said on the defensive side of the ball. But when you've got all your pieces and when you've got a healthy roster, you can really mix and match weapons and really good things happen.
I think that, as we talked about, the chemistry of the offense is starting to work as well. Both Barry and then Livingston on that drive able to find multiple receivers in multiple different spots. So it's good to see this Ranger offense clicking a little bit as we get into kind of this middle part of the season. Later on in district, as you see again, Wyatt Davis. Boy, he's a workhorse, isn't he, for the MacArthur Cardinals, continuing to receive the ball, to handoffs, throws, catches. He does everything.
Yeah, 12 carries for Davis right now, and I'm wondering, since they have a two-headed monster, a lot of running plays from Jaden Burnett. We haven't seen him yet. I wonder if it's a first half, second half thing.
Could be interesting to see Chris Martinez that time as we take a timeout. I didn't see who called it. There was a Jesuit. Are we trying to get the ball back, or is it MacArthur that time who calls timeout with 48 seconds left here in the half, trying to maybe Jesuit, since it's third and long. MacArthur called it.
No, it looks like we called it. My bad. I'm sitting there signaling you that it was MacArthur, but it looks like Jesuit called it.
I think with third and long, Coach Hickman has seen the opportunity to say, hey, we've had a lot of scores in quick fashion. Let's see if we can make these guys punt the ball away, get the ball back, and try another deep shot to get one more in before the end of this second quarter. As we know, the Rangers are going to receive the ball at the beginning of the second half. So really trying to put the pressure on a little bit, I think, here late in this first half.
One thing about MacArthur, their leading receiver right now, Banner Nicholas, is not playing in this game. I saw him over on the sideline just wearing a jersey with no pads on. So they're down one top receiver.
Well, and that makes sense maybe why Wyatt Davis has gotten the ball so much tonight. Chris Martinez, as you see, there he is again, Wyatt Davis up the middle. He's going to get close to the first down line. It looks like the referees are going to signal it as fourth down, and the Rangers call another timeout. So as we let you back in here, Chris Hackles, it'll be fourth and short. The Rangers have called a timeout. They want to make sure and see if this MacArthur offense is going to punt the ball away and maybe get one more chance on the offensive side.
And hey, this has been like a magic quarter. I mean, everything is going Jesuits' way here in the second quarter. Why not get the ball back before the quarter's over?
You know what? I think MacArthur, though, it's fourth down. They're down 28-0. It's 4th and 1. They're going to say, why not? Let's just go for it. If we don't make it, they still got to go 35 yards. If we punt it, maybe they got to go 60 yards.
And maybe that's the strategy for Coach Hickman is let's see if we can make him go for it. If we get the stop, a little more than 30 seconds, 3 timeouts left. One time. No, it looks like 0 timeouts left for the Rangers now.
Yeah, just use the last one.
No timeouts and take a shot down the field.
The Right Legal Halftime Show is coming up next in 40 game seconds. Let's see if the Jesuit defense can earn the ball back. 4th down and 1 from the 34-yard line, and a big play coming. Casas Willis in the gun. Tried to draw a couple guys off sides, but Krug thought about it but wasn't biting. Casas Willis now Irving. MacArthur will take a timeout. You don't expect to see 3 timeouts in under a minute of the first half in a 28-0 game, but that's where we are.
No, I think you're right, Chris. They tried to draw the Jesuit defense offside. We talked about the lack of penalties last week. The great job by the defensive line of the Rangers that time to not jump, and maybe MacArthur's going to send the punt team back out now to be rather be safe than sorry.
You know, Wyatt Davis now has 13 carries for 33 yards. That last carry was for 10 yards. That was by far his biggest gain of the night.
What's the combined yardage total for the rest of the offense?
33 yards for Wyatt Davis and 36 yards passing.
Yeah.
So we got a total of 69
Yep.
total offense.
Yep. He's been a one-man show over there for MacArthur today. They did have a situation early in the first quarter where they had a real legit shot, and the Jesuit defense stopped them and forced not only a field goal attempt but a missed field goal. But other than that, MacArthur has not been particularly threatening, which is a huge credit to the Jesuit defense.
Yeah, and that was a short field, right? So you think about for the Rangers, you haven't given up many yards. You do a great job to get a stop when you needed to after the blocked punt. And really the momentum has kind of shifted since then, Chris. It wasn't necessarily that the Rangers scored right away after that one, but they did a great job, I think, to get the stop. And then now it's been all Jesuit since then. So
4th down and 1. MacArthur trying to get the yard they need. Jesuit trying to keep it full throttle and add to their lead. Wildcat offense. They're going to do it. Looks like a tush-push situation, and we'll see. It looks like he got the yard he needed. You had the ball carrier. You had 3 guys behind him, and it looks like the Cardinals were able to push forward and get the yard they needed.
Yeah, the referees are going to wave this one over. Kind of an ugly pile in there, as it was Wyatt Davis who goes up under center, 3 guys behind him, 7 guys in front of him, and just this is a push and see if you can get that yard. My guess is going to be that the MacArthur Cardinals are fine to kind of let this one ease in for the rest of the half, as it looks like maybe Davis is going to receive this and do a quick run or take a knee here.
Yeah, 21 seconds on the clock before halftime. Davis is going to run the ball off to his right, see what he can gain. He'll pick up a few yards. He'll be swarmed by the Jesuit defense. And the final seconds of the first half are going to tick away. After a scoreless first quarter, the Jesuit Rangers are all over the board in the second quarter. A pick 6 for Jesuits' Cole Wambacher and 3 touchdowns to Cade Kirby. And after a half of play, Jesuits got a 28-0 lead. Let's take a quick break, and we're going to say thank you to our many, many partners. And when we come back, Jesuit Alumni Director Sean McMullen will join us on the Right Legal Halftime Show here on the Jesuit Ranger Sports Network. Don't go away. We'll be right back with you. The Jesuit Rangers have a 28-0 lead at the half. 3 touchdowns to Cade Kirby, 2 of them from Brock Berry, 1 from J.P. Livingston, and a pick 6 from Cole Wambacher. All of it happening in the second quarter, and Jesuits got a 28-0 lead at half here at Joy and Ralph Ellis Stadium. It's the Right Legal Halftime Show. It's brought to you by Right Legal. Sometimes life situation seems daunting and you don't know where to start. Our trusted group of professionals at Right Legal specialize in helping with all matters relating to estate, probate, business, and tax issues. Right Legal, our halftime partner here on the Jesuit Ranger Sports Network. Thanks for being with us tonight. We are thrilled to welcome our halftime guest this evening, the alumni director of Jesuit College Preparatory School, Mr. Sean McMullen from the class of 1996. What's up, man?
How we doing, guys?
I'm so pumped to have you here.
I'm excited to be here. Got all alums in here I'm seeing, so I'm loving that.
This is great.
Let's make sure we can hear Sean.
We got
I
it?
think
You
this
got
is
it?
one that
Say
our-
something, Sean. We didn't mic test you.
Jay's up.
There
Jay's
it is.
up.
Do we
in?
got him? We got him? We don't have him? We do have him? We don't have him.
This one's been a little bit finicky.
I can give him mine and just let you guys rock and roll. Sean,
Yes.
Let's
what
give him.
year are you at Jesuit?
1996.
Do we get that in the headset? Are we good? You got us? Yeah. Yeah, you'll just have to talk a little louder.
All right, I got that.
You're good at that. Thanks for being here, Sean. October's a fun time of year.
Busy.
Yeah. and a particularly busy week next week.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We got a lot coming up here, guys. We've got popped in there.
In
Can
and
you
out.
hear me now?
Let's see. Oh, you're going to go old Verizon commercial on us,
I'm
aren't
okay
you?
with that. Good. All right.
There it is.
So October is very, very busy with homecoming, which starts next week. We've got our O's and 5s that are going to be coming to campus on Friday, October 24th. And registration is still open, so we're excited to see all the recent alumni signing up for that as well. So it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, and so this is next Friday. We got the game Friday night, of course. This happens at the Terry Center kind of before the game, first half of the game, and then you can walk over and enjoy the game if you want.
Absolutely. So basically the way we're going to do it, we're going to have student ambassador tours starting the reunion cycle. And we're going to have our 50th reunion guys getting their golden diplomas on the football field with Mike Ursing, which is a really special moment. But in addition, the Ranger Connection is going to be open. We've got a wonderful evening, a catered event, which is going to have some beverages and some amazing dinner. So grab your classmates, go ahead and sign up. The website is open. Go to the alumni page at Jesuit.
It's an awesome event.
It is fun.
I was just there last year. You got guys from your class, guys from other classes. You have the broadcast on the big screen, right?
Absolutely.
So Kevin and I will be on the big screen. No audio though, right? It's just
We'll have audio for the first quarter for
there you
sure.
go. There
Absolutely.
you go. And then come on out and enjoy the game. Hopefully get some good weather. Obviously, part of what makes October busy is it's typically homecoming month. You're also getting ready for Phonathon.
That's
coming
right.
up in just before Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. So right after we're going to have our reunions of the Grand Reunion, we're actually going to have a Thank a Donor Day. One of the things Mike Ursing's been great about is adding to the student experience what philanthropy really means. So on Halloween, we're going to start off with thanking donors with handwritten notes to alums. And that'll get us really launched into what we're going to do for Phonathon, which is November 3 through 6. And that's the alumni opportunity to help support the next generation of Jesuit students who are on financial need. And it's really special. Guys get their classmates. We smile and dial. A lot of text messages. And it's really helping the students. So it's a fun time to get back on campus and work with as a group.
We'll talk a little bit, Sean, just about how that Phonathon has changed, over the years. That for a long time it was making phone calls to alums, and now, like you said, it's text messages. People can donate via Venmo. Tell us just a little bit about how that's changed in the last few years, trying to keep up with the times.
I'd like to go back a little further than that and say that the first one we ever had was Jack Fitzsimmons at KERA, PBS was the first one, literally using those old rotary phones. But you're right, absolutely. Venmo's been a game changer. Everything is 3 clicks away from making a gift, make it as easy as possible for an alum that's interested in helping, just making it to where they can do it quickly and really helping the boys.
That'll get going here in November. Kevin, I'm excited to hear your thoughts on this. The other piece that happens in November is the Jesuit Blue and Gold Sports Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
And you got 3 awesome inductees this year. One of them was in Kevin's class, so we'll give him a chance to chat about Kingsley Bryce here in just a bit. One of them, a guy I got to know when I was at Jesuit briefly, Darius Hill from the class of 2015, baseball star on that state championship winning team.
Stud.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Talk a little bit about these three guys and how they got selected and this whole event coming up in November.
Glad to do it. So we started the Sports Hall of Fame in 1999. It's an opportunity for us to celebrate the athletic accomplishments. We are a school, so academics first. But when we look at some of these resumes and see what these gentlemen have done beyond Jesuit, at Jesuit, in college, and sometimes pro, it's really an honor to bring them back and let them know we appreciate them, really keeping our banners out there and supporting Jesuit from afar and giving our students an opportunity to see that it's possible. So these three guys are amazing. Kingsley Bryce, absolutely amazing soccer player, part of that 2010 ESPN #1 team, went on to play collegiately and then was drafted in the pros. Just an absolute gentleman. Does a lot with our community service program with his brother Charles. Darius Hill, as you mentioned, just an absolute slugger. I mean, West Virginia, then into the Cubs organization. Just a gentleman as well. He just got married. Shout out to he and his wife, I believe in the last 2 weeks. And then Bernie Lancaster. We have not had a tennis player going in a while. And this guy's resume is unbelievable. He made it to the state, the UIL state 3 times in a row. And from hearing Steve Cook's experience, this guy, we were having to change the rules to make sure we could keep up with his accomplishments. So super excited. And, of course, Coach Matacchione, I know you're listening. We're going to be celebrating the 2001 Rugby State Championship. Game changer for the program.
Coach Matt, I've been there for a long time as the rugby coach. He was there when Chris and I were in school as well, long before. Great representative of what it means to be a Jesuit faculty member. Want to say just a quick shout out to my good friend Kingsley Bryce, Sean, from the class of 2011. You mentioned his prolific career as a soccer player, an even better person, which I think is common, right? What we find with these guys who get into the Sports Hall of Fame, they could get into the Good Man Hall of Fame as well. These guys. Kingsley was a soccer player at Jesuit for 4 years, as you mentioned. He's on the 2010 state championship team as a junior. That was a great team. They beat Houston Strake Jesuit for the first ever major team sport title in the UIL for the Rangers, right, that year. And then Kingsley went on to play soccer in college, as you mentioned, at a little place that Chris Ackles and I know well called St. Louis University. He was a Billiken for 4 years, and it was so fun. Our friends and I lived just one floor below Kingsley my freshman year at SLU.
Did you
We were
really?
supposed to room together, actually. There was a little thing where the athletics department wanted him to room with another athlete. Of course, I was not playing Division I athletics at SLU, so that wasn't allowed. But Kingsley was a great friend of ours all through SLU, a great soccer player there as well. Unfortunately, we never made quite as much noise in the NCAA tournament as Jesuit did in the high school tournament. But a good man, a good friend, really excited to celebrate Kings as he goes in to the hall this year. Just an awesome honor.
Absolutely. He's well deserving.
Let me just say, you guys were talking about reunions real quick before you jump back in, Chris. Want to ask about just kind of the atmosphere of homecoming, Sean, and how fun that is for the Rangers. Expect a big crowd next week as we celebrate the homecoming game against Richardson. Just tell us a little about kind of what that atmosphere is like, what we try to do, and how do we try to encourage folks to get out there and participate in that spirit. It's a great night, I think, for the Jesuit community.
It is, absolutely. Starts with the kiddos when they've got their mums on and their garters and they're out there to support their classmates. We'll be celebrating our distinguished alumnus, Chris Cook, from the class of 86. Chris is just an absolute gentleman, a supporter of Jesuit through and through, well known in the community for his work as an entrepreneur, as well as a real supporter of women's rights. He's a guest speaker in the Entrepreneurship Club at SMU. I mean, he is always out there representing Jesuit. His son also a 2021 alum. So really excited to honor him. But it is really fun to see the stands full of alums that come back for that game. And I'm looking at the field tonight, and I'm seeing 4 or 5 of our alums coaching, and it just it bleeds into the stands. It's really fun. And
you mentioned at the very beginning the mums and the garters. It's been fun for me. I know, Chris, you lived away from Dallas for a few years as well. I've been up north in South Bend, Indiana for the last 8 years. Great to see a few weeks ago. I think it was Irving High School, we played on their homecoming night, and seeing it's MacArthur's again as well here this evening. So seeing the mums and the gardeners, such a fun tradition here in Texas around homecoming, and it'll be great to see those next week as well for the Rangers. I want to say one thing about Chris Cook, but Chris Ackles, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that my wife, Mary Catherine, wants a mum. was like, you're 30, you're 32. What are you talking about?
She
I'm not getting you
deserves
a month.
one. Absolutely. You get yourself over to the JWA's had a few that have been made, so we get you sometime.
Well, as Kevin says, that's what happens when you move away.
Yeah.
Kevin wants to talk to you about Chris Cook, but before he does, a couple of things. One, that class of 2011, man, and this is an 09 guy right here you're talking to.
Sure.
So, I'm a senior, and we think we're all that, and me and Patrick Radican are doing what seniors do at Jesuit.
Sure.
Those sophomores.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple years ago, you guys inducted Jeff Schottmer and Jordan Spieth into the Hall of Fame.
Don't forget about Wetzel.
Wetzel's coming, I hope. Josh Bell is still playing Major League Baseball, but his day's coming. Now you got Kingsley Brown. How about that class of 2011?
It's pretty unbelievable. There's not been a lot like it. 1995 is the only one that I can think of offhand that was pretty close.
Yeah.
And it's been impressive, and there's more to come, as you mentioned.
That's so cool. And another recent grad you guys just got a chance to kind of hang out with, celebrate with, was Jacob Polish. So class of 2017, you talked about Darius Hill being in the Cubs organization. Polish also in Chicago in the White Sox organization, an organization that's close to my heart, for better or for worse.
Sure.
But he came back, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, wearing his White Sox hat, honorary captain. What a cool event.
Absolutely. And he's a future Hall of Famer, if I had to guess as well. But quality gentleman, came back to support the school. Absolute stud, was on that UIL baseball state championship team as well. But in addition to Jacob, we also had Tom Scott, class of 08, which is our first Jesuit Olympian. And so he was out there last week as well. So we absolutely love having the alums come back. Steve Cook really started that, trying to get as many alums involved in the coin toss. And Kyle Harriman has been phenomenal about saying, who can we get next? And these guys are easy picks because they're doing so many great things.
Of course, to bring it back to the class of 2011, Tom Scott's younger brother, Chase Scott, 2011 grad. So want to say a quick word about Jacob Polish as well, and then we'll circle back to Chris Cook, class of '86, who we'll have on the halftime show next week. But Jacob Polish, so I'm graduated from Jesuit for 4 years. Talked to my dad often about who kind of were the star seniors, and in that class of 17, Jacob Polish, folks, he was a starter on the football team, starting quarterback on the football team. He was a starting postman on the basketball team.
That's right.
And then he was a starting pitcher on the baseball team. So a 3-sport varsity starter. And then, Chris, he had a chance to be in a very select crew that you and I also belong to, as Tom Walsh pointed out to folks last night. He gave the Bishop Lynch Award speech at graduation that year.
He did.
He got a 36 or something on his ACT. I mean, this kid was really a stud at Jesuit when you think about the kind of things that Chris and I did. We certainly weren't doing it as 3 varsity sport athletes as well. So just, again, a great example of the kind of caliber people that come through Jesuit. So glad to see that Jacob Polish was back out.
He was also a Davey O'Brien finalist that year.
Wow.
So, I mean, absolute stud. And glad to have him back. He was so good to sign autographs for the students.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
some of we had DPL night and Future Ranger night. So he signed a lot of cards. Really quality
really
gentleman.
That's really great. Well, I want to tell you guys a quick story about Chris Cook, and I'm sure that you and I, Chris Ackles, will talk about it again next week when he's on with us. But a few weeks ago, so I work for a nonprofit here in town called the Loop Dallas, and we were fortunate enough to receive a gift from a family, the Chris Cook family. And I'm thinking, I feel like I recognize that name. Where did I see that name recently? And I go back to an email from James Kramer earlier in the season to myself and Chris Ackles, a few others, saying Chris Cook is the halftime guest at Jesuit, on October 24th, the homecoming game. And I'm thinking, there's no way it's the same guy. No way.
Absolutely.
And, of course, lo and behold, I look him up a little bit, find an article actually from the Jesuit Roundup a couple of years ago that talked about him coming to speak to the Entrepreneurship Club, and it is the very same Chris Cook, class of '86. So fortunate to have him as a Loop Dallas donor, but also obviously as a generous benefactor to Jesuit and all the amazing community here. As you mentioned, his son Christopher, class of '21. I just met them the other night at an event that we had down in the design district. So really excited to talk with Chris, and I think maybe Christopher might join us in the booth. I need to let Chris
that's
Ackles
what his dad wanted him to come, so I hope he does.
More
alums.
I told him he's welcome in the booth. We'll have a great conversation between the 4 of us, but super excited for that conversation next week. And then obviously the fun announcement this week of him being the distinguished alumnus I saw in the Jesuit newsletter, The Tie. So
absolutely
awesome to see that, and really excited to get to know Chris a little bit better on a few different points. But I thought that was kind of a fun story.
That's
I couldn't believe my worlds colliding.
Oh,
there.
yeah. Well, it's easy when you got a guy like that. He's everywhere and does a lot of wonderful things.
That's right. That's right. Sean, tell us a little bit. We've done this with folks who have positions at Jesuit that maybe folks aren't quite as familiar with. Obviously, we've talked about all the things that are going on. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what you think about on a day-to-day basis as the alumni director. What are your big goals for getting folks involved, alums of the school? But then also, what are you doing on a day-to-day basis? What kind of keeps you busy?
I really appreciate that question. So it's changed over time as the student and alumnus changes in their preferences of communication style. I work with a very, very talented and energetic alumni board, and I've actually created this year our first Young Alumni Committee in a while, which is 2011, your class, all the way to 2025, which I have 4 really involved 2025 recent grads. And we have challenged them to help us be the right message to the right age group, and that has been amazing. You can't be everything to everybody, but we try. Basically, if we go young, we're going to be set for the long term. So we want those guys, and I've seen a couple tonight at the game that are out here, that we want them to get involved. The Alumni Service Corps, which your dad was so very wonderfully involved with and created, to have those guys back on campus shows the students they can stay involved. That's amazing. What do we do on a day-to-day basis? Anything that involves alums. So we've got several student clubs on campus that are looking for speakers, the Sports Hall of Fame, different ways to get guys involved on campus. There's over 30 of us that are teaching or on campus in some way that are alumnus of the school. So it's all about the community. I mean, I'm looking through the crowd right now, and I can see 2 guys from 83, a guy from 86, and a whole lot of alumni parents. So really cool, and that's what the community is all about, and that's what makes Jesuit so special.
You, of course, from the class of 96. Did you say young alum starts at 2011?
2011. I'm 30 years out next year,
so
bud.
I'm not young anymore.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Chris.
I'm not on the young alums anymore. I'm an old alum now.
You are
the old alums.
Experienced in wisdom. That's what we call that.
Sean just stood up and started pointing around the crowd. And, one of the interesting dynamics about football, but really about athletics in general, is it's such a phenomenal avenue to keep alums involved, keep them coming back to campus, keep them listening to broadcasts, reading the tie, that athletics is such a phenomenal tool for this community.
Absolutely. To see all these alums that want to come back and be a part of it, whether their kiddos were in crew or maybe they're in the Lego club, they still come to the football games. It's an opportunity to shake the hand and neck of the person that you love and you haven't seen in a while. And, obviously it's football in Texas. It's king. But at Jesuit, it's just an opportunity to be with your family. And so we're very, very appreciative of over 70% of our kiddos are playing sports at Jesuit. And so that's a whole lot of a piece of the community that we're able to kind of tap into.
You can see it in the top left corner of your screen. This is the Right Legal PLLC halftime show. Life situations sometimes seem daunting and you don't know where to start. But our trusted group of professionals at Right Legal specialize in helping with all matters relating to estate, probate, business, and tax issues. So thank you to Right Legal, our halftime show partner. Alums there at Right
Oh, absolutely.
Legal?
The Wrights, we've got Paul and Patrick Wright, 86, Chris Cook's classmates. Very supportive.
This guy's unbelievable.
It's the job, but it's a fun job to have.
Give him a name, and he'll give you the number.
I do my best. I'm not always 100%, but I do my best.
In just a moment, we'll go to Chris Martinez, the illustrious Chris Martinez, for your halftime statistics here on the Right Legal Halftime Show. But, Sean, before we let you go, what would be kind of one message to alums as far as how they could get involved? And Kevin and I both, as he said earlier, moved away. I did the Chicago thing. Kevin was a couple of different places, and most recently in South Bend. Both of us kind of at age 30 came back home. We got a lot of friends in a similar boat. You're in your 20s, you're exploring different things, you're in grad school, whatever it is. Then you hit 30, you come back home, you want to get involved. What's your message to those guys?
Message is there's a spot for everybody. Everybody has a place at Jesuit Dallas where a family, you don't graduate from it, you get older. I think the biggest piece is that every skill set with every alum, they can offer something. A lot of alums want to help with their time. A lot of want to make a donation and just say, y'all are doing a wonderful job, keep it up, or here's where I suggest we make a switch. We will talk to everybody and find a way to plug them in. And I've got a lot of opportunities to do that. So I would say the initial thing is read the tie. I appreciate that plug. It's a 2-time-a-month alumni newsletter. Follow our social media. Give me a call at Jesuit 972-387-8700, extension 342. and we will have a lovely conversation and find a way to make it better for Jesuit.
If you're not getting the tie, how do they get it?
It's, send alumni at jesuitcp.org, and
There it
we'll
is.
get you plugged in very easily.
There it is.
Everybody
Awesome.
can remember that, alumni at jesuitcp.org.
Awesome. Chris, Sean McMullen, sorry, Chris Martinez is up next. Sean McMullen from the Jesuit class of 1996, the alumni director at Jesuit Dallas. Dude, thank you. What a blast.
Thank you guys for taking this responsibility. It's such a pleasure to be with y'all. Jay's up, go Rangers.
And we'll see you next week at the reunion.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
We'll look forward to it. Thank you
Awesome.
guys.
Thanks so much. We're going to hold just a moment and take we're here at Ellis Stadium. The Rangers have a 28-0 halftime lead on the Right Legal postgame show. First half stats on the screen. What's up, Chris?
First half stats.
Oh, your headset's not. Let's try that again. Hey, Chris.
Can you hear me now?
I got you now.
All right, the Verizon commercial. Yeah, the first half stats up on the screen, some general ones. Real quick point out, I do my stats. Brian does the other stats too, so sometimes they're off a little bit. I've got 23 yards of rushing for Jesuit, 155 yards in the air. Big difference on what you're seeing on the screen, because a lot of that stuff is the little pop pass. A lot of times people think that's a run, it's a pass, so we're close. Only 73 yards of total offense for MacArthur, 178 yards for Jesuit. 10 first downs for Jesuit, 5 for MacArthur. 3 for 6 on third downs. That's before the game. We said that's something that they had to improve on, and getting 50% conversion on your third downs is positive. Only 2 for 7 for MacArthur. 3 for 3 on fourth downs for both teams. 2 for 2 for Jesuit, 1 for 1 for MacArthur. Only one penalty, one called, accepted penalty against Jesuit for 10 yards, several that were declined. 2 penalties against MacArthur for only 10 yards. We punted once for 9 yards, but that got partially blocked, so that's a little bit misleading. 2 punts for MacArthur for 36 yards average. 1 big turnover for Jesuit. The return for the interception, return for a touchdown, and then a fumbled recovery. We got 14 points off of turnovers. Time of possession, pretty even, 12-17 to 11-43. Average starting field position, 34 for Jesuit, 32-yard line for MacArthur. Both teams had the ball at one time or another starting in the enemy territory. Jesuit had that ball on the 16-yard line after the fumble, and MacArthur had the ball on the Jesuit 28-yard line after that partially blocked punt. Individually for Jesuit, running, Ty DeBoo, 9 carries for 19 yards. Shane Parker, a couple of carries for 7 yards. On the passing side, Beck Berry completed 8 passes for 98 yards, including 2 touchdown passes to Cade Kirby. J.P. Livingston, 5 pass completions for 57 yards and a touchdown pass to Cade Kirby. Cade Kirby, 4 catches in that first half for 79 yards, 3 touchdowns. Cade Kirby now has 8 touchdowns on the year. Beckberry, as I said, had 98 yards. He's only 42 yards away from eclipsing the 1,000 yards passing on the year. Shane Parker also caught 6 balls, 57 yards. 6 balls, 5 of those catches for Shane Parker resulted in first downs. So getting the ball to Shane is a positive, turns into first downs. Harlan Buechler got him back in the action, 3 catches for 19 yards. So all in all, Jesuit doing what they need to do on offense and on defense. They're stopping them. I think the turning point in this game is when MacArthur took the opening kickoff, and they drove quite a bit, burned 5 minutes off the clock, and then ended up punting, put Jesuit back on their own 3-yard line. They stopped Jesuit, partially blocked the punt, had the ball on their Jesuit 28-yard line. So at that point in time, you thought, okay, this is the momentum changing. But Jesuit forced a field goal, which was missed, and then ever since that time, it was just all Jesuit. Jesuit only had the ball 4 times, 3 touchdowns. Obviously, they had the interception return for that 4th touchdown. So the last 3 possessions for Jesuit on the offensive side has resulted in 7 points.
Tell you what stands out. The esteemed Chris Martinez. The esteemed Chris Martinez, Kevin.
Tell you what stands out to me, I think, guys, from those first half stats, thanks, Chris, is the running game for the Rangers. You know, we saw on our stats ahead of this, Jesuit has been improving, its ground game for the last several games, averaging 130 yards in the last 4 games on the ground. And as you mentioned, Chris Martinez only about 45 yards so far rushing for the Rangers. I'd be interested to see if that changes. As Chris Ackles has mentioned all night, we've been very content to throw it deep down the field. So I'd like to see what happens here. Does Ty DeBow get a little bit more involved? Does Shane Parker get in the backfield and do a few more runs? We didn't see Beck Berry run it as much as he has so far this season. So I think especially with a 28-0 lead, we'll look to see the ground game get going here in the second half.
Yeah, Beck Berry has 0 carries in the first half, so he hadn't had to scramble. I think, Jesuit gets the ball in the second half to start off. They drive down the field to score, make it 35-0. Right after that, I think you're going to see a heavy dose of running.
Sean McMullen from the class of 96, Chris Martinez from the class of 78, carrying us through our Right Legal halftime show. Before we start the third quarter, we'll get a chance to show you your starting lineups from Tradio, so we'll do that in just a moment. But we want to thank you for joining us for the Right Legal PLLC halftime show here on Ranger Sports Network from Tradio. Jesuits got a 28-0 lead at the half here at Ellis Stadium. We'll take a very brief break. When we come back, you'll meet the starting lineups tonight, and we'll have third quarter action for you between the Rangers and the Cardinals here on the Ranger Sports Network.
Tried to get one into the back of the net. Caught! Touchdown! Jesuit, what a catch! Score! He does it as a goal! Goal! And the Rangers win the game!
We're here in the second half here at Ellis Stadium. The Rangers have a 28-0 lead as we begin the third quarter. And let's show you the starting lineup for the Jesuit Rangers. The offensive line, Kevin, we mentioned earlier, these guys have had a great night.
Absolutely. As you see, again, a couple of new faces there. Hudson Krug doesn't even have a picture
face,
up
yeah,
there,
that's all
but
right,
Chase
that's all
Gibson there at left tackle, new face as well. So a couple of sophomores and 3 juniors there on the offensive line for the Rangers. But as we've said, doing a great job tonight, I think, making big plays.
Yeah, we talked about Cade Kirby's second of his 3 touchdowns, where these guys really did a lot of work to make it happen. So a great job so far for the offensive line tonight for Jesuit.
We see also the correction there real quick, Chris. Sorry, that was 71. That's Ben Bumgardner, who's a sophomore. Sorry, the wrong name was there. But Ben had a great block to spring that Cade Kirby screen touchdown earlier.
You see the wide receivers on your screen now, and the man on the far left, Cade Kirby, has had a phenomenal night. 3 touchdowns. He's up to 8 touchdowns on the season. These wide receivers have spread the field all night, and one name you're not seeing on the screen is Harlan Buechler, who's also back tonight at the wide receiver position. So a great night for these guys.
Great to have him back, and Chris Martinez talked about it at the halftime with Shane Parker, Cade Kirby, and Harlan Buechler all having over 3 catches. It's been a really good night for this receiving core. Wouldn't be surprised if we call Caden Profit and Corson Lindley's name a lot more here in the second half.
Yeah, Jesuits' offense has had particularly a great second quarter after a scoreless first quarter. And as we continue on that offense, here's the backfield. Quarterback Beck Berry. He's flanked by Lucas Meyer and Ty DeBow. We've seen a steady dosage of Ty DeBow tonight.
Yeah, Lucas Meyer not getting quite as many touches tonight. I wonder if he's maybe dealing with a small injury here or there, but like to see this running game get a little bit more involved. I'm sure we'll see a lot of J.P. Livingston in the second half as well, because he had that drive late in the second quarter for the Rangers.
Yeah, both Beck Berry and J.P. Livingston have really shown off the arm tonight, put the ball in the air quite a bit, and they've both had an excellent night. That's that Jesuit offense for you. They've put up a bunch of points. Let's take a look at the defensive front. We've talked about Captain Tanner Krug on the the defensive end. He's got a couple of guys, really impressive night. The defense has put up a 0 so far.
We laughed about this last week, too, with Tom Walsh and Babe Laufenberg. Parker Sherman there in his senior photo
Love
on the
that.
screen. Chris, he's got his shirt and tux on. That's a Jesuit tradition of seniors for folks who don't know. That picture goes in the yearbook. It goes in the picture that goes on the wall in the alumni hall. So
that's
an
right.
important one. Good to see Sherman looking all dressed up.
Here are the linebackers again. The man on the far left, Cole Wambacher, he had that pick six, dancing the out-of-bounds line and putting 7 points on the board for Jesuit.
Yeah, this is a great group of linebackers. We have not called Gabriel James or Simon McGoldrick's name much tonight, but all season long we've been talking about those guys too. So for Norman, Wambacher, James, and McGoldrick, we're really excited about what that linebacker core has done for the Rangers so far this season.
In the Jesuit secondary, I know we've called Weismuller's name tonight. Some of these other guys haven't been quite as busy, but Andres Van, what a night he's been having.
And what you like to see here, I think, from a secondary perspective for the Rangers is it's 3 juniors right there in Ben Phillips, Andres Van, and Jack Beret. Those guys are getting big minutes this year as juniors. They'll come back next year as seniors, and we'll really have a strong secondary there in the backfield.
Thank you to the folks at Tradio. We've got an excellent graphics package. Kevin told me off the air, so these graphics are really cool, and they are. So are the commercials. Want to thank Wright Legal for their partnership as the halftime sponsor. Your third quarter is brought to you by Complete Land Sculpture. Tonight's third quarter is a Complete Land Sculpture's quarter, just like all the others, creating beautiful outdoor spaces for over 40 years. From initial design and construction of pools, planting installation to year-round maintenance, Complete Land Sculpture is proud to keep North Texas looking its best. We're honored to be longtime supporters of Jesuit Athletics. Contact Complete Land Sculptures at 214-949-4689 for all your landscaping needs. They're your third quarter partner tonight here on the Jesuit Ranger Sports Network.
And before we look at the Rangers receive this opening kickoff here in the third quarter, Chris, want to give a shout out to, I think that we're going to give them the award for the coolest name of the town that you're listening from. Our good friend Casey Pagel, Casey McCartan Pagel, and her dad Mac, listening all the way from Pocahontas, Iowa. They're in Iowa for the weekend. And
we saw Casey last night at 9 o'clock. She was in Dallas.
Saw Casey last night. She had an early flight this morning. They're hanging out in Iowa with some extended family. Thanks to Mac and Case for listening to us all the way from Pocahontas, Iowa. And, of course, their brother, Kyle McCartan, class of 2008, just a year ahead of you, a Jesuit alum. So, and Casey Ursuline, class of 2011. Good friends, thanks for listening.
And her husband, Mitch Pagel, Jesuit class of 2011. Jesuit will return the pickoff here. I think Pocahontas is named in a Tyler Childers song, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know that anybody's going to beat that as far as coolest places you're listening from. If you are listening, we'd love to say hello. Shoot us a text or say hello to us on Twitter at Radio Jesuit. Jesuit senior Carson Long running the Twitter feed for us tonight. Feel free to say hello to us. We'll say hello back to you on the air. We are underway in the third quarter. Jesuits got a 28-0 lead. Beck Berry is back out there at quarterback. He's got Ty DeBow to his right, and here we go. Berry's going to look to throw the ball. He's got a pocket, but he'll scramble out of it. Moving to his right, he's going to pick up about 10 yards. It's a first down for Jesuit, and the Rangers are moving the chains again.
I think maybe the microphones that we have are hooked up to the Jesuit helmets tonight, guys. A couple of times we've mentioned some things, and then immediately the Rangers decide to do something just like it. Chris Martinez mentioned 0 rushing attempts for Beck Berry in the first half. On the first play in the third quarter here, Beck Berry rushes for a first down. It's great to see him using his legs and creating some offense for the Rangers.
1st and 10 at the 43-yard line for the Jesuit offense. Berry had an excellent second quarter, and now here we are in the third, working with a 4-touchdown lead. Berry in the gun, dropping back. He'll deliver a pass. It's complete to Ty DeBow, but Ty had to reach to get it, and the reach pulled him down.
Man, that's just a few inches away maybe from being a big break for DeBow on the screen pass. Line does exactly what you're supposed to do, lets him through. Beck Berry tries to get the ball over the top, just not quite enough that time, and DeBow comes up with the catch, but it's for a loss.
2nd down, 12 to go at Jesuit's own 41-yard line. Berry's going to take his time to get the play in. We'll probably see a lot of that here in the third quarter as Jesuits got a 28-0 lead, and it's a school night, so you might as well let the clock run a little bit. Berry looks to his left, firing left. There's Cade Kirby. It's been a great night for Kirby. That's complete. Picks up about 7 or 8.
Not surprised to see him target Cade Kirby early in this third quarter. a great job that time by the Rangers to continue to get some yardage. We talked about that before the game. We've been talking about it all night. Want to continue to see this third down percentage go up for the Rangers. It was 50% in the first half, as Chris Martinez mentioned. That's better than 31% so far this season, and now it's 3rd and short for this Ranger offense.
And Kevin, you brought up the fact that a lot of those on 3rd and long, they're tough to convert. Here we got 3rd and 3, and the Rangers are going to convert as he delivers to Parker. Parker's going to get more than just converting. He picks up another 15 or 20. He took what looked like it might be a shaky 3 yards and turned it into a huge gain.
28-yard gain, we're told by Chris Martinez that time. Shane Parker just so shifty, Chris.
Yeah.
When he gets that ball, he looked for the seams. You thought he might be even caught behind the line of scrimmage. And Jesuit doing the classic, when they get a big play, they're going to hurry up and go first down offense right away.
At the 21-yard line, handing off. Here's Ty DeBow. He finds a hole to his right, gets around the corner, beats a man, beats another man, and carries it down inside the 5.
Like to see if we could get the replay here that time if possible. It was a great block up there. I believe it was Corson Lindley who sprung the block at the top for the Rangers. DeBow did well to make a couple people miss. And here's that replay, Chris. You can see good blocking up front for the Rangers. DeBow makes a man miss right here. But then watch 81. Corson Lindley put his man to the ground. DeBow just a few yards from the end zone. And now the Rangers will have an opportunity to go up even bigger. As it's 28-0, and they're threatening knocking at the door.
1st and goal at the 3-yard line for the Rangers. Here's Ty DeBow again. No, it's Beck Berry who's got it. Berry's juking, jiving. He's in the end zone, and just like that, we're 2 minutes into the second quarter, and the Jesuit Rangers have extended their lead to a 5-score ball game.
Nice little option read that time. Beck Berry fakes us all out. As we see here, he'll have the opportunity to hand this ball off to DeBow. He's just going to pull it and go right to his left. He beats the man to the edge. As you see the replay here, there's Berry pulling the ball. He fools the defense, gets around the edge, and he's going to get in for the score as Cooper Magoo is up for his 5th PAT of the night. It's up and through the uprights, 35-0 Jesuit.
Yeah, Jesuits offense there, just no doubt about it, marching down the field. A couple of big plays, a 2-minute and 5-second drive that Chris Martinez already has to us.
Let's talk about that. 7 plays, 67 yards, guys. It's capped off by a Beck Berry 3-yard run. It's his 3rd rushing touchdown of the year. Really like the balance that time, Chris, on the offensive side of the ball. There was runs, there was passes. DeBow almost gets in the end zone. It was a great completion to Cade Kirby on a 3rd down. Shane Parker had a big gain, so a really balanced drive that time. That scoring summary is brought to you by Vanguard Auto Group. They're proud to stand behind Jesuit Athletics with GMC, Kia, and Ford dealerships in the DFW Metroplex and surrounding areas. We're here to be your hometown dealer. Visit VanguardAutoGroup.com and schedule your test drive today. Go Rangers.
As Kevin said earlier, Cooper Magoo has been busy tonight between PATs and kickoffs after Jesuit touchdowns. This game started 0-0 after a quarter. The Rangers really had a phenomenal second quarter, and Beck Berry carried the ball in for the 5th touchdown of the night, the 4th for the offense, and Jesuits got a 35-0 lead, well on their way to an 11th straight victory tonight here at Ellis Stadium over the past few years.
This is a great confidence booster, bounce-back game. We talked about it at the beginning of the broadcast here, Chris, that last week Jesuit at home, Lake Highlands comes to play. The Wildcats clearly look to be the strongest opponent that we're going to see here in district this year. And you need something like this to build back the confidence, right? We talked about it at the beginning of the season. The first few games, non-district, don't matter. Jesuit goes 0-3. You get a couple of wins, your first couple out in district, and then you stumble against Lake Highlands. Now this is a great opportunity to bounce back and get some confidence back for the boys.
For sure, and to get your district record up to 3-1 going into homecoming, as the MacArthur offense will deliver a pass off to the right. It's caught by Tay Riles, but he didn't gain much more than a yard. In fact, I believe he lost maybe a yard or two. It'll be 2nd and 12 as the Jesuit defense just all over him.
Yeah, this MacArthur offense just hasn't been able to get anything going tonight. We talked about it, I think, late in the second quarter. They had about 60, 70 yards total of offense, and that hasn't changed much so far. Really like to see this Jesuit defense containing things on all sides. It's runs, it's passes, but they're containing them well so far tonight. And there's another opportunity to show that as there's 5-6 Rangers in on the tackle of Davis.
Yeah, the Rangers stripped the ball and ended up coming up with the fumble, but it happened late after it was down. I think Gabriel James jokingly saying, "Hey, I came up with it," but Wyatt's knee was on the ground for sure. Davis picks up a yard or two, third and long.
Yeah, also MacArthur is down their number one receiver, as I mentioned earlier, Banner Nicholas, which I assume he's the coach's son. He came in with 21 catches, the leading receiver on the year, and he's obviously injured.
Well, that matters, Chris Martinez, to not have one of your top offensive weapons. It makes the rest of your offense, and kind of the opposite of what we've talked about with Harlan Buechler all night, right? That when you don't have one of your offensive weapons, it makes the rest of your offense a little less balanced, makes Jesuits defense able to target a few folks. As you saw the big hit that time, I think that was Gabe Weissmuller coming down from the safety position. We'll see it here on the replay. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I was going to say he delivers a pass to Washington who looks like he's got room to move, but as you mentioned, Kevin, a huge hit. Is it Weissmuller? Gosh, look at that. And Cabe's not the biggest or tallest guy, but man, he hits hard.
5'11", 180. That's his third punt here, we're told by Chris Martinez, for the MacArthur Cardinals, as the Ranger defense does well to get them off the field. Looks like it's going to be a short one, and
yeah, they look like a fair catch. Corson Lindley called for a fair catch, and I think every single official has thrown their flag on the getting in the way of the fair catch there. No harm, no injury there, but the Jesuit will get an additional 15 yards added on top.
Yeah, well, the Cardinal player just wasn't sure that time, I think, where the ball was, and Lindley ends up bumping into him. Nothing you could really do there from his perspective as we see the call.
It'll be a 15-yard penalty after the punt. Jesuit will take over. You see it in the top left corner of your screen. The third quarter is brought to you by Complete Land Sculptures, creating beautiful outdoor spaces for more than 40 years. From initial design, construction of pools and structures, planning, installation, year-round maintenance, Complete Land Sculpture is proud to keep North Texas looking its best and honored to be longtime supporters of Jesuit Athletics. 214-949-4689. Give us a call. Complete Land Sculptures, your third quarter partner for tonight.
As we see the Ranger offense take over, that's J.P. Livingston in at quarterback, and it might be him for the rest of the night, Chris.
Yeah, and he's got some room to move, throwing to his right. It was intended for Lindley. It hit Lindley and fell incomplete. You mentioned J.P. Livingston. We also see Lucas Meyer out there. I believe you talked earlier about this, about how we may have a second half, some more activity here for Meyer in the second half. Good to see Livingston and Meyer getting some minutes out there.
Yeah, I hope this run game gets going a little bit. That time, Livingston and Lindley not able to connect, but now we'll see if Meyer gets the ball here on second down, Chris, as the offense tries to get going with a new quarterback.
Yep. Here is Parker. This Chris tells us it's a pass. We do have a flag on the play, and with where it is, it might be against Jesuit. Parker got back to the line of scrimmage, not a whole lot more than that. Though we do have, as we like to say, yellow laundry on the field.
You like to say, Chris.
Yeah.
Let's see here what the call is from the official. It is going to be holding on the offense, and that penalty is declined, it looks like, by MacArthur once again. So Parker was trying to make it to the outside. It was a good tackle that time by number 24 for the Cardinals. Brian Ortiz had him going out of bounds. So it's another third and long now for the Rangers after the first incompletion, and Livingston will see if we can convert this and get the offense going.
Judd Harris into the game to his right. We've seen Jesuits' offense with a number of big plays tonight. So if you're MacArthur, you'd rather have 3rd and 10 than 2nd and 15 or 20. Because you don't want Jesuit to have more opportunities for a big play. Here's Livingston. He throws to his right. Corson Lindley. This time it gets there. Lindley, you talked about the Rangers being shifty. That's exactly what Lindley does. Picks up 9 or 10. Let's see if he got it. He might have been a hair short.
It's going to be a 4th and short there, that call by the officials, and here the Rangers go up quickly to the line.
Going for it quick. Livingston snaps the ball, trying to gain a yard or two. We'll see where they spot him. It'll all depend on the spot. The Rangers think they have it.
No,
One of the officials says they don't.
Yeah, the far official is pointing MacArthur's way. The short official over here didn't make it a call.
He had it right away. It looked like he did not have J.P. Livingston over the line. Like that call is very similar to what the Rangers did in their own end of the field in the first half, Chris, but Livingston just not able to gain any ground. There's a few folks kind of trying to push him over the line, but it was a quick call that time by the official, so the Rangers would turn it over on downs.
He did look like he got stood up a little bit. Helmet came up rather than going forward, and it looks like the ball did the same thing. So MacArthur takes over on downs. The first turnover on downs tonight for the Rangers. Previously, they were 2 for 2 on 4th down conversions back in the second quarter. And here we go now with the Cardinals having an opportunity to erase the 0, but they're going to have to march 71 yards to do it.
Yeah, seeing some new faces on the defensive side of the ball, too, for the Rangers, Chris. So be excited to call a couple of those guys' names as we see another direct snap to a running back that time, but good gang tackling by those Jesuit Rangers.
Yeah, that was the first run by Jaden Burnett. We were waiting for him to make an appearance, and there it was.
Yeah, I took the direct snap. They've called that play to Wyatt Davis quite a bit tonight. This time it's Burnett. Picks up a couple of yards by moving to his left. Yeah, you mentioned a couple of new faces on the Jesuit defense. I see Joe Norman out there. Of course, we talked about him earlier. Andres Vans had a nice night, and we'll see if the remainder of this Jesuit defense can keep that 0 on the board. Second down, 7 yards coming. Casas back in the game, throwing to his left, incomplete. Casas Willis, that time he was looking for Derek Washington again, throws it incomplete, 3rd and long coming.
Good coverage that time by the Rangers. It looked like Jackson Gare dropped back as a linebacker, as well as maybe number 40, Simon McGoldrick. So multiple folks out in coverage that time in the flat for the Rangers. Casas Willis forced to throw that ball over the top, Chris, and it goes right out of bounds.
3rd down, 7 to go. MacArthur trying to get something going offensively. They haven't been able to most of the night. Casas Willis is going to have to bail out of the pocket to his right, looking deep. That's his only option, and the throw's incomplete. It was intended for Tay Riles. Ranger defense did a good job of forcing him out of his comfort zone, forcing him to throw on the run, and sure enough, he threw it out of bounds.
And as the Rangers force 4th down, I want to give another shout-out to a good friend, Chris, listening over in Coppell, Texas, my friend Dan Brinjar, who's Notre Dame, class of 2017. He's an ACE graduate, the Alliance for Catholic Education program. And Dan's a good friend of mine. We had breakfast this morning at Cindy's on Forest Lane, a classic Jesuit alumni spot. Dan also taught at Jesuit Dallas for 4 years as well. I believe the group that is seniors right now had him when they were freshmen. So thanks to our friend Dan Brinjar for listening in.
That's awesome. Great to hear from Dan. Haven't heard from him in a while. Glad he's listening. And you can say hello to us, too. Feel free to shoot us a text or a tweet at Radio Jesuit. We'd love to say hello to you. MacArthur punts. Corson Lindley fair catches it. This time he's able to haul it down without getting hit. Ranger offense will take over at its own 37-yard line, and Beck Berry's going to come back as he and JP are alternating possessions at quarterback.
Yeah, this is fun to see. I think the Rangers now get an opportunity to see some new faces, to continue to try things out. There's 6 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter, and let's continue to see this offense get in rhythm with one another. You want to continue to see this kind of chemistry for the rest of the season. So now's an opportunity to really work on some things if you're Coach Radigan and Coach Livingston trying to get this offense into form for the rest of the season.
Lucas Meyer back on the field for Jesuit to the left of Beck Berry, and sure enough, Meyer gets the ball. We got a flag on the play. Were the Rangers late getting the play off, it must have been? We had a couple of flags here.
Deep on the defensive side of the ball, so I'm not sure what it could have been from that perspective unless
an illegal substitution on MacArthur.
12 men on the field.
There we go.
Came from the back judge and the side judge.
There you go. They're counting those guys out on the field. I wouldn't have noticed it, Chris. So glad they were paying attention. 12 men on the field for the Cardinals, and that makes it easier. 1st and 5 for the Rangers this time.
First and 5 for Jesuit. The Rangers working with a 35-0 lead here in the third quarter at Ellis Stadium. We're about halfway through the third quarter. Barry in the shotgun. He'll toss it over to Cade Kirby, I believe. No, I believe that, yeah, okay, that's going to be Lucas Mayer, but Mayer got hit pretty quickly, and the Rangers lose a couple of yards.
Yeah, let's see here what the Rangers do. It's second and long. There's a little bit of a miscommunication maybe there on the play. Barry stays out there. Jesuit fortunate with the penalty to not have too much of an effect on the down and distance here. So Jesuit, Chris, continuing to take a little bit of time on this drive. There's 5 minutes, 40 seconds left here in the third quarter, and they are going at a pretty slow pace now. They got to get up to the line quick with 5 seconds left on the play clock.
Barry with 1 on the play clock. He'll snap it just barely time to spare. He hits Corson Lindley off to his right. He gets a couple of blockers. Lindley's going to pick up 8. He's going to get that Jesuit first down. And again, it's the blocking of the Rangers that makes it happen. See a couple of guys over there. Barnaby Cox is over there, a part of it. Tony Kohler, a part of that blocking. And they earn themselves the first down.
Love to see Corson Lindley getting another opportunity after he didn't make the first down in the time before. And that time does get the first down, as you see Shane Parker gain a few yards there on first down for the Rangers. Lindley's been a lot more involved so far this half, Chris, for the Rangers.
Parker's had a really steady night for Jesuit. He doesn't have a touchdown yet, and he hasn't necessarily broken out for a 40-yarder, but a really good night for Parker.
That last 9-yard catch by Corson Lindley, Beckberry is now at exactly 1,000 yards for the season.
That's cool. Exactly. Passing yards. Exactly 1,000 passing yards for Beckberry this year. He's going to try to add to it. Throwing to his right. Kirby went up and got his hands on it, but right at that exact same moment, he got hit by Jeremiah Johnson, and that's going to fall incomplete.
That's good coverage that time, I thought, by Johnson. Just timed that one perfectly as Kirby went up for the catch. Kirby a little slow to get up, and he makes his way over to the left side of the field once again. It's another third and long here for the Rangers, but as we've talked about, the Rangers content to let a little bit of clock run down.
Just barely inside of MacArthur territory at the 49-yard line, a little over 4 minutes to play here in the third quarter at Ellis Stadium. Barry back in the gun, throwing over the middle to Parker, falls incomplete. Maybe he likes that nice round 1,000 number for his total passing yards on the season. His fourth and long is coming.
Just missed Parker that time, I thought. He was in a little bit of open space. Barry was being chased as well. Wasn't quite a connection there that time.
That reminds me, years ago, way before you guys were born, there was an Atlanta Falcon running back who went over 1,000 yards rushing, which was a big deal back in the day. They stopped the game, gave him the ball, and then he lost like 7 yards on the next play, so he finished below 1,000 yards for the season.
I love that. That is awesome. Magoo punts it away, and the Ranger defense is going to get a chance to down it. It goes out of bounds at the 15-yard line. We'll take a quick break here in the third quarter with the Rangers up 5 touchdowns. We'll be right back here on Tradio, Jesuit Ranger Football. Jesuit's got a 35-0 lead here at Ellis Stadium.
What a catch! Score! He does this and go! Goal! And the Rangers win the game!
Jesuit 35, MacArthur 0. The Cardinals are trying to get on the board. It'll help that they've got a good first down run there from number 26, Jaden Burnett, picking up about 15 yards on this Jesuit defense. But good night so far for the Rangers. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just going to say, Jaden Burnett, we hadn't seen him in the first half. I looked at the roster. He's a freshman. We got a freshman running back there, and he's their second leading rusher for the year.
Yeah, picks up a first down there on first and 10, and MacArthur trying to get themselves on the board as they trail 35-0 here late in the third quarter.
Chris Martinez, I think, Chris, looking through a crystal ball all night, he mentioned at halftime to us, maybe we'll see Jaden Burnett in the second half a little bit more. And, of course, that's what we've seen so far here in the third quarter. He's got a couple of runs for over 20 yards.
Yeah, Casas Willis firing over there to Tay Riles. It's complete for another big gain, about 8 yards there for MacArthur. He has been doing this for, 57 years, Chris? Is that?
Yeah, my wife thinks that's what all I do is football in the fall and baseball in the spring.
That's a pretty good life. Second down, 2 to go. Here's a handoff. It's going to be Burnett again, the freshman, and he'll pick up the yards that the Cardinals need for another first down as they near midfield with 2:50 on the clock in the third quarter here at Ellis Stadium.
If you're Jesuit, trying to think now about what do you take away from a game like this, Chris, you're up 35-0, still 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the third quarter. So it's been a great night. Want to continue to build on the things that have gone well. Also an opportunity to continue to work on things that you get a chance to work on in practice. But these game situations, I think, are really important as you continue to make your way down towards the playoffs and other points late in the season. The opportunity to have this kind of game play this time against a real opponent and not just your teammates in practice is really important.
Yeah, MacArthur goes back to Wyatt Davis to pick up a first down. And you're exactly right. And this Jesuit squad that's headed into homecoming next weekend at Ranger Stadium, which of course we hope you'll join us for, and getting back into the win column, getting your district record to 3-1, giving yourselves an opportunity to lock down a playoff berth here over the next couple of weeks as the Rangers are home next week. Not only is it homecoming, it's the final home game of the season next week for Jesuit. So if you're a fan out there and you're thinking about, I might go to a game, your last chance is next Friday night as the Rangers take on Richardson at Ranger Stadium.
Well, you say that it's their last chance, but we become number 1 in Division II. We get that home game.
Oh, in the first round?
In the first round, yes.
Okay. All right. Is that a new?
It's been at least 5 years or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're back into me being the old alumni category here, not knowing the rules.
Continuing to learn how things go here, right, Chris?
Chris, we have a break. Can you walk us through, first of all, the sack difference? Isn't it it's a passing yards or rushing yards?
In the NFL, a sack goes against the team passing yards, not against the quarterback passing yards. In the high school level, it goes as rushing yards, negative rushing yards.
Interesting. Okay. Now, you also talked about play earlier where if the quarterback tosses it forward, even if that toss is behind the line of scrimmage.
That's universal.
That's a pass. Huh. Well, we've seen a couple of those tonight. Now, MacArthur's got the ball 1st and 10. Jesuit forces him for about a 5-yard loss, as it looked like that was Davis again, but this time he's pushed back 5 yards.
Great play that time by the entire Ranger defense, Chris, but it's Ben Phillips who ultimately makes the play for a more than 5-yard loss. Big tackle that time, forces Davis out of bounds. A great job there by the entire Ranger front getting up and making Davis get all the way to the outside. He's not going to get around the edge, and it's a 6-yard loss that time for the Cardinals.
2nd down and 15 from right at midfield. The Cardinals are trying to get on the board for the first time tonight. So far, the Jesuit defense has kept them completely scoreless with just over a minute to play in the third quarter. Casas Willis got a lot of time. He's having to scramble. He gets away, and he's going to just barely get back to the line of scrimmage. Great job from the Jesuit defense, forcing all kinds of pressure. Rory Sullivan leading the effort.
Thought we might see our first sack that time for the Ranger defensive front. Casas Willis does a nice job to escape it, but it's still just a 1 or 2 yard gain.
Well, no, it was a 1-yard loss. So
1
that
yard
is a sack. So they just give the credit to whoever the closest Jesuit Ranger was on the play.
Well, there you go.
Interesting. So as we see on the replay here, that closest Ranger might have been number 43, J.D. Moore. We'll see who gets credited with the sack. 3rd down, really long. 16 to go for MacArthur from its own 49-yard line. Casas Willis likely will have to throw. He's rolling to his right away, looking, throwing over the middle. It's caught, but it's not nearly enough. Riles makes the catch. He picked up about 7 or 8. We may be at a spot on the field, though, where they choose to go for it on 4th.
Chase Brown, it looked like that time on the coverage for the Rangers, makes the tackle. number 28, the junior defensive back, coming in. And you're right, Chris. It looks like MacArthur is going to leave this offense on the field to go for it on 4th and medium.
Also saw Duncan Blankenship in on the play for the Jesuit defense. 4th down and 6. MacArthur scoreless tonight. They got to go for it. Casas Willis, this time he'll roll to his left. Going to have to throw across his body if he can get away. Gabriel James giving chase, and the Rangers get their first. Ball is knocked away. They're going to let this play on. It's picked up by Tanner Krug. Gabriel James chased him down from behind. A couple of other teammates were in there as well. Krug picked it up. It was a full team effort to bring him down behind the line.
Yeah, and the Jesuit defensive sideline excited about this. Watch Gabriel James. This is great camera work from our friends at Tradio. He hustles all the way across the field. He's going to get to Casas Willis, and then it looked like maybe that was Wambacher who gets the ball free. It's Tanner Krug who picks it up. Makes just a few yards extra. Could have gone the distance if he makes that man miss. And Jesuit offense now will start with a short field, Chris. That's a great defensive play by Gabriel James.
It looks like it's being scored, a fumble, and then Krug picked up the fumble and gained a couple more yards for Jesuit. So the Rangers take over at the 37-yard line. J.P. Livingston back on the field for the Rangers at quarterback. He puts the ball in the stomach of Ty DeBow. Ty's had a great night. Oh, it's not Ty DeBow. It's actually going to be Judd Harris. So Harris goes off to the right. He picks up 10 yards. The Rangers are moving the chains again.
Continuing to see some fun names in. I see number 85, Hunter Helm, in at wide receiver, and number 19, Carter Casey for the Rangers on the right side that time. Looks like that's the end of the third quarter. A good run by Judd Harris. As we say, thanks to our third quarter sponsor this time, Chris. Complete Land Sculpture.
Yeah, thank you to Complete Land Sculpture, our third quarter partner. We head to the fourth quarter. That one's going to be brought to you by Rockmore Roofing Solutions. From kickoff to final whistle, Rockmore Roofing has you covered. Proudly serving our neighbors and supporting Jesuit Rangers football. Rockmore Roofing Solutions, our fourth quarter partner tonight. It's been all Jesuit in the middle quarters, 28 points in the second quarter, another 7 in the third quarter as we head to the fourth here at Ellis Stadium in Irving. And the Jesuit offense has got the ball again with an opportunity to add to the lead.
Good to see J.P. Livingston in and kind of leading this offense. As we mentioned a few times, he's just a sophomore, so you hope that these reps as a sophomore that he gets are going to continue to pay dividends in future years if he's going to be the starting quarterback as both a junior and a senior here for the Rangers. So we'll see if we can get some of these guys that we don't get to call their names every week in on some scoring plays now for the Rangers with 12 minutes left to go here in the game.
Yeah, we head to the fourth as J.P. Livingston is at the helm for the Rangers. Looks over to his left, hands the ball to Judson Harris. Judson's brought down behind the line, but the clock will tick, so we expect a lot of running plays here as the Rangers wind down this fourth quarter clock.
Boy, nowhere to go that time. It was Gabe Burnett, defensive back, who came in for the MacArthur Cardinals. Judd Harris, as soon as he got the ball, it felt like there was a couple of Cardinals on top of him, so he does well just to get down with it, only for a 2 or 3 yard loss. And now the Ranger offense, we'll see what they do here. They got trips left, it looks like, Chris. Who are they going to pick out of that new receiver crew to go to on second and long?
Yeah, it's a brand new receiving core for the Rangers. That's Ben Knutson over to the left. Hunter Helm is over there. Carter Casey's over there to the left. It looks like the Rangers, J.P. Livingston's looking in that direction. And, boy, we have a fumble on the play. It's a backward pass. MacArthur's running with it. There are multiple flags on the field. At the end of the day, the result of the play is a touchdown, but 2 different flags are on the field. One of them is going to be on a hit that happened near the line of scrimmage. The other is either a block in the back or a hold. We'll have to let the referees sort this thing out. A really, really tough hit there from Gabe Burnett. And 2 different flags are on the field.
Yeah, the officials are going to talk about this. I think that's a dangerous play on number 23, Judson Harris, there as they converse. This is one where you have to let the play go on. As you see, number 8, that's Jaden Jedich for the Cardinals, take it all the way in for the score. But I don't think this is going to be a touchdown, Chris. They're going to call this one back, and we'll see a couple of those penalties come back after the big hit on Harris.
Yeah, the initial hit from Gabe Burnett was pretty clearly helmet to helmet. We'll see what the referees do with it. They're better at their jobs than we are, but that looked like a helmet to helmet situation. And the location of the second flag also makes me think we might have two different flags against MacArthur. I'm just not really sure. And at this point, Coach Hickman's not really sure either.
Yeah, you could see him having a quick conversation on the side there with the officials. Let's see what the White Hat says here, Chris, as he gets ready to make his call.
Two fouls on the play. Targeting against MacArthur. It is a non-flagrant foul. The player is not DQ'd. That is his first non-flagrant foul. Second foul is a sideline interference on Jesuit. That is a live ball foul. Both penalties offset. We have to replay the down.
So the penalties offset, replay the down. MacArthur fans are not happy about this because the play resulted in a MacArthur touchdown off of what ultimately was a scoop and score.
But they're
Chris, go ahead.
No, I was going to say they're still marching it off. I guess it's offsetting. Did they march it off against? No.
Well,
at the 28-yard line is where we were before.
Yeah, offsetting and replay the down. So it'll be 2nd and 12. See, even in a 35-0 game, there's still some excitement here. We can get this all sorted out as the Ranger offense is going to remain on the field. And the Ranger defense gets to keep that 0 on the board for MacArthur. Livingston will fake the handoff and do it himself to his right. He turns the corner. He's got plenty of green space in front of him. J.P. Livingston, 28 yards. After the fake handoff, he does it himself, and the Rangers score again.
Really great job that time by this wide receiver core, Chris. I mean, Livingston pulls the ball out. It's 28 yards of him running, but watch a couple of these blocks that are made at the top that time for the Rangers. Just a great job by these guys here as we watch the replay, Chris. It's Livingston pulls the ball. He makes the defensive end miss. That's 83. We talked about him just a minute ago. That's Knudsen, and then it's 19 Carter Casey up at the top who springs the block that ultimately gets Livingston into the touchdown. Again, great work by our friends at Tradio, as I think even new kicker there, Chris.
Yeah, Sterling Kipnis hits the PAT. We just missed it. We saw the awesome replay there. It's been a great night for Cooper, Magoo, and now Kipnis gets his chance. But you're right, the downfield blocking for Jesuit tonight has been stupendous.
Really, really good. Fun to see J.P. Livingston use his legs. As we talked about, that's his first rushing touchdown of the year. I was saying that about passing earlier, but it really is. Chris Martinez has written it down, so it is gospel. It is his first rushing touchdown of the year. That scoring drive, 3 plays with a long break for the penalty, but only 1 minute and 26 seconds on the football clock. 37 yards. Livingston caps it off with the big 28-yard run. Again, his first rushing touchdown of the year. That scoring summary is brought to you by Vanguard Auto Group, proud to stand behind Jesuit Athletics with GMC, Kia, and Ford dealerships in the DFW Metroplex and surrounding areas. We're here to be your hometown dealer. Visit VanguardAutoGroup.com and schedule your test drive today. Vanguard Auto Group says with the entire Ranger sideline here,
right.
Go Rangers.
That's right. Wait, Kevin, we've talked a lot tonight about the Jesuit wide receiver core, whether that's Buechler coming back from injury or Cade Kirby scoring 3 touchdowns of his own. How about the gumption of these guys blocking downfield and making space for their quarterbacks and their running backs? You know, the downfield blocking. I mean, that's really, really good coaching and really great execution.
Come back to a word that we've said already a couple times tonight, Chris, and that's discipline. For this Ranger team, the Ranger players, the coaching staff really instills in them the discipline to do what you need to do. As a wide receiver who's blocking 15 yards downfield, you have no idea if you're going to be able to, have the run come your way or what's going to happen on the play behind you. So super important, I think, for those guys to just take it one play at a time. If you're Carter Casey, you haven't seen a lot of snaps in close games so far this year. A great job to spring a block that's not going to go in the stat sheet, right, Chris? That's those guys doing the work on the side that really help them to just do the next thing, let the next player step up and make a play, and that's what J.B. Livingston did that time behind his blockers.
Defense having a good night as well. Of course, putting up a 0 so far for MacArthur, and at 42-0, Jesuit just letting the clock run out here on Thursday night football here at Ellis Stadium. Next week is homecoming at Ranger Stadium. We hope you'll join us live in person. If not, you're welcome to join us here on the broadcast as the Rangers will take on Richardson. Freshman running back for MacArthur, number 26, Jaden Burnett, picks up about 5 or 6 yards off to the right.
I think it was number 30 that time, Jackson Long, who was in on the tackle for the Rangers. Again, good to see some fresher, younger faces out there for this Ranger defense. With 10:22, 10:21 ticking down here in the fourth quarter, I think you got to be excited if you're this Ranger team, this Ranger coaching staff getting into homecoming next weekend, that the Rangers are kind of clicking on all cylinders again now.
You can see it in the top left corner of your screen where it's the Rockmore Roofing Solutions fourth quarter here at Ellis Stadium as MacArthur picks up a few more. From kickoff to final whistle, Rockmore Roofing has you covered. Proudly serving our neighbors and supporting Jesuit Rangers football. Rockmore Roofing Solutions, your fourth quarter partner tonight.
Good tackle that time for the Rangers on defensive line. Number 96, 6'1" junior Rory Sullivan was able to trip up Burnett that time, the running back. And this is going to be a 3rd and short here for the Cardinals, Chris. So we'll see if this Ranger defense decides to bring a little bit of pressure maybe.
3rd down, 3 yards to go.
I was going to say MacArthur is only 2 for 10 tonight on 3rd downs.
2 for 10 on 3rd downs. They've also had a couple of 4th down attempts that didn't get converted, as we'll see a timeout here from MacArthur on 3rd and short. Kevin, let's talk about the upcoming schedule for Jesuit. Richardson at home next week for homecoming. Then you got a couple of road games to finish out the season. Halloween night at Berkner, and then back here at Ellis Stadium against Nimitz 3 weeks from tonight, and then hopefully playoffs after that. But Jesuit's got a real opportunity to finish at the top of certainly the Division II standings here in District 7 6A and return to the UIL playoffs.
That's exactly right, and we know, as we've talked about all season long, the playoffs here for the Rangers are no surprise at this point in the UIL, especially under Coach Brandon Hickman. We've made the playoffs every year since 2019. If you take out 2018, it's been every year since 2010. So the Rangers really have a great track record here. This district game against Irving MacArthur going to bode well for the rest of the season. Jesuit will have to take care of business against the Eagles, the Rams, and Irving Nimitz here in the last game of the season. But I think you're right, Chris. This team is poised here to take the number 1 spot in the Division II side of UIL 6A and make a run here in the playoffs.
3rd down, 3 yards to go. We've got 9 minutes and change on the clock here in the fourth quarter. It's going to be another direct snap to Davis. Let's see. He may or may not have gotten it there. Looked like he came up a little bit short. Wyatt Davis has had a nice night for the Cardinals. I think he's a yard short.
I saw J.D. Moore. I saw Rory Sullivan, a few other players in there for the tackle that time for the Rangers. And you're right, Chris. The referees marked this one just a hair shy to be 4th and short. Wouldn't be surprised to see MacArthur go for it down 42-0 here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, we take a look at the replay to see this Jesuit defense making the tackle and stopping him short. But here we go, 4th down, 1 yard to go. MacArthur's going to go for it. They're setting up for the tush-push-like play. It's very close. Let's see if he got it. The line judges are going to take a look. We'll see what they signal. The Rangers think they stopped him, but it looks like they may have gotten the yard. Well, we're not sure. Let's see where they spot this thing. That's a 1st down. They got the yard they needed.
Wow, that was close. A great job that time by the Ranger defense as the sticks will move here and the MacArthur offense stays on the field. Even the chain gang is a little slow to move, Chris. They weren't sure what happened there, but a favorable call that time.
The
I think a favorable
NFL has
spot.
moved to this Hawkeye, this Hawkeye ball spot. It's a tough call. if you're an official trying to spot the ball on a play like that. Irving's going to pick up about 7 or 8 yards here. Not an easy task trying to spot the ball.
On the pile that time, there's about 10 red jerseys, 10 white jerseys. If you can see through the forest what's going on and find the spot where that ball is supposed to go, I think credit to the officials who've done a great job tonight trying to keep everybody safe here. And a good game so far, obviously, for Jesuit, trying to just keep everybody safe at this point. No injuries for the rest of the game.
7 minutes and some change here in the fourth. We got a sideline interference penalty against the Rangers. Couldn't see the flag as it was right up against the sideline. That happens when you got guys on that big one. Every football field has those big, thick, white sidelines that we're all familiar with. The reason for those big, thick, white sidelines is that's a zone that players and coaches should not be in because you got to keep it clear for a referee who's running up or down the sideline. We saw this come into play in the Notre Dame versus Georgia college football playoff quarterfinal game last year. And so those sideline warnings, that may not mean that players are on the field, but if you're in that big, solid white line and the referee's trying to call the play and bumps into somebody, that's where you're going to run into an issue.
And for folks who are paying attention, in the big brouhaha there was in that penalty a couple of minutes ago, there was a sideline interference penalty called on the Rangers. And so that's the second sideline interference called. It's a 15-yard penalty for the Rangers that time. And MacArthur fortunate to move the ball down the field here. It's a second and short. They're continuing to line up in this Wildcat formation, it looks like, Chris.
It's been working for him, and not only has it been the formation been working for him, but Wyatt Davis has had an excellent night. Now this time it's his freshman understudy, Jaden Burnett, who's going to break free and gain all the way to the end zone. Burnett, it looked like he was just trying to pick up a yard or two, but instead he gets 44 yards for the MacArthur touchdown. No more shutout for the Jesuit defense, but MacArthur deserves to get on the board tonight, and they just have.
We talked about him being a freshman. Boy, he looks good, strong. That's a good run that time. Looks like he's going to be stopped behind the line, makes a man miss, and then just explodes through that middle part of the defense, and ultimately too fast for the Rangers. That's going to be a great touchdown that time, as you mentioned, 44 yards by Burnett. Unfortunate that time, to get the penalty. The Rangers do, as we see here, the MacArthur Cardinals get on the board for the first time tonight.
Yeah, he's not only he's the only freshman on the roster for the MacArthur Cardinals. He's also, as far as skill positions go, there's not even a sophomore. There's only a couple of sophomores on the roster, and he's the only at a skill position. So a bright future there for Jaden Burnett, who scores MacArthur's first and so far only touchdown of the game.
Oscar Abrego, kicker for MacArthur, puts it through that time to make it 7 for MacArthur, and it's 42-7 now with 6:28 left to go here in the fourth quarter. For the Cardinals that time, the scoring drive, 7 plays, 86 yards. Wow, 86 yards they got that. That was a big drive. 4 minutes, 25 seconds. It's Burnett, obviously, capping it off with the big 44-yard rushing touchdown. That's his 6th of the year. That scoring summary is brought to you by Vanguard Auto Group with Kia, GMC, and Ford dealerships in the DFW Metroplex and surrounding areas. We're here to be your hometown dealer. Visit VanguardAutoGroup.com and schedule your test drive today. Go Rangers.
When you watch Jesuit games and you get final scores like 52-21, 52-13, 42-14, Vanguard Auto Group, man, it's you got 7, 8, 9 touchdowns a night.
That's a bargain. It's been a bargain all year, I think, from the ad side of things. So,
love it.
Folks are paying attention and want to get in on that one next season. That's a good one to buy.
I want to make sure we're saying hello to Brian Henry, the sports information director at Jesuit Dallas, gets us prepared for all these games. Thanks for all his help, and we're excited to see him next weekend for homecoming. Stay with us after the game for the Mosley Dental Group post-game show. At Mosley Dental Group, we provide advanced dental solutions and personal attention to our patient family. We promise you'll never feel like an anonymous number on a chart. Instead, we'll greet you warmly by name and look forward to your visits as time spent with a friend. That's the Mosley Dental Group post-game show. We usually get a phone call from Brandon Hickman. We certainly expect to tonight, and I'm excited to ask him about the offense and the way they were able to put points on the board, and about the defense and they were able to keep points off the board.
You remember, Chris, when we talked to Coach Hickman at the beginning of this season, even before the first game of the year, he talked about how this receiving core is really talented, and this was a group of guys that he thought was really special. Obviously, we've seen a couple of games without Shane Parker, several games without Harlan Buechler. Those are two senior playmakers. It's clear that when all these guys are on the field, they can really make something happen. Beck Berry settling into his role as starting quarterback. I think he was right. It just took a second for these guys to get into a rhythm.
Yeah, and not only can they make something happen, but they open up the field for the other guys as well, and you get great blocking from the offensive line. Ranger offense back on the field at the 43-yard line. We're likely to see the Rangers just eat the clock a little bit. 6 minutes to play here at Ellis Stadium. Livingston hands the ball off to his right. It's going to pick up 7 or 8 yards and then some, as I believe that's going to be Judd Harris again, who picked up 9 or 10 yards. May have got the first down, keeping the ball on the ground and keeping the clock ticking.
A nice run that time by Judson Harris. You can probably see it on your camera, folks. Judson Harris, number 23, junior running back. He's listed at 5'10", 170. I'm not sure that he hits 5'10", Chris, if you stood him up against the ruler on the wall. But he runs hard, makes a couple of guys miss that time, almost a first down play. Just love to see a guy like that who makes men miss. He's shifty, like we talked about earlier, as he kind of goes through the middle of the field.
Livingston's got Hunter Helm to his left, and he's got Lucas Meyer to his right. He hands the ball to Meyer. Meyer will pick up a few. Lose a few, but we do have a flag on the play.
Yeah, let's see what this flag is. It looks like the white hat is pointing over to the MacArthur sideline to get a reading from their coach. So this is going to be on the Rangers.
Holding. Yeah, it's a holding penalty against Jesuit, so it'll bring the ball back a little bit for Jesuit and repeat second down for us. Under 5 minutes to play here at Ellis Stadium. Rangers with a big lead of 42-7. A bit of a game recap for you. No score in the first quarter for either team. Jesuit really opened it up in the second quarter. 3 touchdowns on offense. 3 touchdowns on offense and 1 touchdown defensively for the Rangers in the second quarter. Then came out in the third, scored really quickly to add to it early in the second half. And now here we are in the fourth as the Rangers will try to eat the clock a little bit with consecutive running plays as Meyer loses a couple of yards there.
A bit of a low snap that time. J.P. Livingston did well to corral that from off of his shoe tops and get it to Meyer. Not able to gain much of anything, lost a couple of yards on that play, but fortunate that time that the snap didn't roll past Livingston. So I think the Rangers are content here, Chris, to just let the clock wind down, as you mentioned, see if we can get a couple of young players involved. But really happy, I think, from top to bottom with this performance tonight. Coach Hickman's got to be, and so looking to just take care of everybody on the way in here for the rest of the night.
3rd and long, Livingston claps it into action. It's a pass play, and it's going to get batted away. A good defensive play from Tex Morris as it got knocked away. Here, 3.5 to play.
I wish we would have been able to call his name a few more times tonight. Tex Morris. What
Morris.
A great sports announcer name to call as we see the replay here that time. Here's Livingston. Watch Morris get his left hand up there and make this bat right there. Great job by the MacArthur Cardinals, and it'll be Magoo out to punt this one away.
You're talking about calling names. Everybody asked me at Notre Dame about calling names. Notre Dame's got USC this weekend.
Oh boy,
these guys recruit
the Pacific Islanders.
Yeah, they recruit from the Pacific Islands. So there's a number of names that I've been studying all week. We'll have to say on that primetime game between Notre Dame and USC this weekend. A 38-yard punt for the Rangers. MacArthur will take over with 2:44 on the clock as we're just a few minutes from this one winding down, and the Rangers advancing to 3-1 in district play.
With all thanks to our folks who are listening to us here tonight. We've had a great listenership, viewership all year long on Tradio and on the Jesuit Ranger Sports Network, but probably a few more fans listening in Notre Dame Stadium to you, Chris. So you really want to make sure you get those names right for the folks who are listening, as you call that, over the PA system at Notre Dame Stadium.
Yeah, can't get those wrong. Big game for the Irish this week. MacArthur's offense onto the field, 2:40 to play. We've mentioned it before. Next week is homecoming as the Rangers take on Richardson at Ranger Stadium. We hope you'll join us there in person. If you can't, you're welcome to join us on the broadcast. And then 2 road games to close out the regular season. The Rangers play at Berkner on Halloween night and then at Nimitz right here at this stadium 3 weeks from tomorrow in early November. And the Rangers, of course, hoping to earn their way into the UIL playoffs after that. 2 minutes to play as Jesuit is ticking away here at a 42-7 victory.
New quarterback, it looks like, here in for the Cardinals. That's Colin Hernandez, who ran that ball. The depth chart here lists him, Chris, as a wide receiver defensive back, but he received that snap. He's listed at 5'9", 148. He looks every bit that small on the field there, as a great tackle on that first down play by William Shaner for the Rangers, as it looks like a timeout is called. And the 2-minute timeout, Chris Martinez tells us. As we continue to wind down here towards the end of this game, hard to find something wrong, I think, with this performance, Chris. If you're the Ranger coaches, obviously want to continue to work on things and get better. But defense, offense, special teams, all those coaches got to be pretty happy this evening.
Yeah, all 3 phases of the game, Rangers looked really good, looked really prepared. You talked about it right as we came on the air. A disappointing result last week and a disappointing loss. Kind of a statement win tonight for Jesuit, if for no other reason than to make the statement to yourselves that we really do have this thing and we really can go compete for a district championship.
It's classic in sports, right? How you respond to a loss really tests the mettle of a team. It shows how talented you really are. And this group not shying away after a loss, right? You don't come into a game like MacArthur where you were favored. Jesuit would have been favored in this game if we were looking at something like ESPN Bet, although we're not for tonight, thank goodness.
We're not, to be clear.
Yeah, absolutely not. Thank goodness betting hasn't made its way to high school sports yet in Texas.
That's right.
But that time, you see the MacArthur team run here, the Cardinals run for maybe what's almost a first down, but important opportunity, right, for these Rangers to bounce back, as we've talked about a number of times, to get a good win, and then to carry this forward with you now for the rest of the season.
Minute and a half to play here at Ellis Stadium. Rangers have won 10 consecutive games here dating back a few years, and they're just a few minutes from making that number 11. And they'll be back here in early November to take on Nimitz to try to make it 12. Here's a handoff again for MacArthur. They're going to carry it up the left side of the field. Not sure who it is, as they're kind of emptying the bench, and I don't see that individual on our roster, but that's okay. Jesuit brings him down after picking up a few yards. Got about a minute to play.
Well, we've talked about it a few times already so far this season, Chris, but next week I'll do my 3rd game in Ranger Stadium on the broadcast so far this season. In a couple weeks after that, I'll be doing my 3rd game here at Joy and Ralph Ellis Stadium. I will ultimately do as many games here in Irving as I will
I haven't
down
done a
at
home
Ranger
game
Stadium.
yet, and I've done 2. I've done 2 here at Ellis Stadium. So looking forward to next week, getting into the home press box and hearing the sultry tones of John Smeltz on the public address system.
That's right.
At Ranger Stadium. I think he's here tonight, actually. I know he's not listening because he's in the building. This ball is still alive. Some shifty offense there for MacArthur. What may be our final play of the evening is they'll pick up a few yards. Unfortunately, we might have an injured player that'll force a stoppage.
Yeah, the refs will blow this one dead. Hernandez that time, Chris, comes all the way to the Ranger sideline, takes a quick cutback, and then brings it back up to the middle of the field. And now, unfortunate to see a player down. The training staff will attend to him as the Rangers come off to their sideline and the Cardinals go off to theirs here with about 21 seconds left in this game. It looks like the referee's coming to come over to talk to Coach Hickman, and they might call this one early, Chris. I don't know.
Yeah, we want to say thank you to our various partners tonight. Barrel Bones Craft Bar and Smoke House sponsors our pregame show. Vanguard Auto Group on the scoring summary. UT Southwestern Simmons Cancer Center. Wright Legal is our halftime partner. Complete Land Sculptures, our third quarter partner. Rockmore Roofing, our fourth quarter partner. And of course, Veritex Bank is a proud partner of Jesuit Dallas Athletics. sharing a strong commitment to serve the community and making a difference in the lives of others. Learn more about Veritex Bank at veritexbank.com, member FDIC.
This is the time of the broadcast where we would look over to Babe Laufenberg last week, who would tell us a very fun, entertaining story about somebody like Troy Aikman or Jason Garrett or other people that he's had the opportunity to interact with in his time. Don't have those kind of stories for you, Chris, but what we do have is a great connection to the Jesuit community. Really have enjoyed been doing these broadcasts with you this year. For folks who are listening, obviously this broadcast has been going on for 28, 29 seasons. This is our first year on the headsets here. It's been great to be with you and do this. This is game number 4, I think, total for me, although we had a couple of hiccups early on in the season. I know this is just game 2 or 3 for you, so this has been a lot of fun for us so far this year.
And Babe said off the air, this one's going to go deep and fall incomplete. It hit the receiver in the helmet, and we might have we have a pass interference. We'll just see who it's on. Babe said off the air that he's done a lot of broadcasts, and you're already shaking your head, and has had a lot of kind of third microphones on the broadcast, and you were his second favorite third microphone on the broadcast. His favorite was
Dan Rather. He told us last week. That was a great story.
Yeah, not bad to come in second to Hall of Fame broadcaster like Dan Rather.
If you're going to lose to somebody, losing to Dan Rather is a great thing. I think Babe's just being generous, as he always is with his words. I'm sure they've had lots of other great broadcasts. As folks know, he and Brad Sham have been doing the Cowboys games for over 25 years now together. It was great to have Babe on the broadcast with us last week, and he and Tom Walsh are good friends as well, so we thank them for all the work that they've done on these broadcasts. Chris Martinez obviously been with us for almost 30 years now, thanks to Carson Long, our senior spotter and Twitter ex-manager who's been with us all night. Thanks to Tradio and their team. It's been a great night here for Ranger football, and the clock's going to tick down to 0 there, Chris. Rangers get the victory this one tonight.
Yeah, final score of 42-7. Stay with us. Coach Hickman will be joining us for the Mosley Dental Group post-game show here in just a moment. Here in the next 5 to 10 minutes, we'll have a couple of great things for you. We'll have an interview with Coach Hickman. He'll tell us about this game and what worked well for the Rangers. Chris Martinez will join us for final statistics here in just a moment, and we'll look forward to the next few games for Jesuit Ranger football. A really impressive night tonight for Jesuit. Kevin, as you said, all 3 phases of the game, offense, defense, special teams, Jesuit looked really, really solid and really by position. The line got the job done, great blocking. You had great quarterback and backfield play, really excellent wide receiver play. Everybody in a gold helmet can be proud not only of the result, but of the process to get there.
You know, sometimes in high school football, Chris, you have maybe just one player or 2 players on a team that are so good that they dominate a football game. Tonight, this was a complete dominance, I thought, by the Rangers all across the board, all across the field, as you mentioned. Players on all sides of the ball helping out to make this a complete win, 42-7. You look at that and you're excited as a Ranger fan or on the Ranger sideline for a win like that to be this complete. Obviously, Cade Kirby probably gets the MVP ball tonight with 3 touchdowns on the night, all in the second quarter. But really, truly, there wasn't just one player tonight who made it happen for the Rangers. All across the board, this team was really solid. And I think, again, as we've talked about a number of times, you take a lot of solace from that. You take a lot of confidence from that going into the rest of the district slate.
No, absolutely, and headed into homecoming next week, of course, for the home game. To make these broadcasts available to, we got a lot of texts about, oh, man, the broadcast looks great. You got cool camera angles. You got replays. That takes a lot of people. It takes a village. Of course, Trey Bell from Tradio's here with us tonight, kind of producing the show. Sebastian Dunn, Jesuit sophomore, up here in the booth with us as well, working on graphics and replays. A whole bunch of camera folks all around the stadium. I mean, it takes a village to put on a broadcast like this. And when you and I agreed to do this back in July, I didn't know it was going to look this good.
This good, especially with all the graphics packages. As you mentioned, we got our sponsors up on the screen. We got the commercials that play when we take a break. It's really been a lot of fun to see this come together, and we thank our partners again at Tradio And all across, as you mentioned, it takes a village to put a broadcast like this together. Thanks to Brian Henry, our sports information director, who helps us get prepped every single week. And Chris Martinez, how are we doing on final game stats? We're getting ready?
There's a lot of
Chris Martinez does it all by hand, and so he's still working through a few things. You see some of them on your screen now. We'll come back to Chris when you got him available to us. What's on the screen there, Kevin, makes this game look closer than it actually was.
A lot closer, and what's not on there, obviously you can see at the bottom of your screen is the 42-7 victory for the Rangers. Some of those drives a little bit shorter for the Rangers tonight, Chris, so you don't see quite as many in terms of the yard domination, but it's over 300 yards there for the Rangers. And just over 200 yards for MacArthur. The first downs obviously looking close. That shows you how well the defense did when the going got tough, when MacArthur was in our side of the field. And it looks like maybe Chris Martinez is going to be ready here to give us a couple of his numbers.
Chris, go with it. Whenever a coach calls, we'll interrupt you, but
Absolutely.
Go ahead and take it.
Yeah, I don't see the things on the screen. I just have a lot of ink splots in here. But first downs for Jesuit 17-12. Third down conversions, Jesuit 4 for 10. MacArthur only 2 for 11. I have 109 yards rushing for Jesuit, 206 yards through the air for a total of 315. For MacArthur, had 225 yards of total offense. 167 of that came on the ground, but 130 of that came in the second half when the game was already out of reach at that point in time. Time of possession was won by MacArthur, 27 minutes to 21 minutes for Jesuit. Ty DeBoob had the most carries at 37 yards. Justin Harris had 18 yards on 3 carries. Shane Parker 3 carries for 9 yards. Beck Berry 13 pass completions for 140 yards. J.P. Livingston had 7 completions for 66 yards. And a host of people caught balls today. Cade Kirby, as we talked about, 5 catches, 89 yards, including 3 touchdowns. Corson Lindley caught a couple of balls for 18 yards. Shane Parker, 8 catches for 85 yards. Harlan Buechler, 3 catches for 19 yards. All that was in the first half. And Lucas Meyer caught 1, and Ty DeBoob caught 1 for negative yards. But all in all, just a dominating effort for Jesuit, winning 42-7.
42-7. Thanks, Chris. Great stuff there. Your stats made it sound a little bit more like we won the game handily, but I tell you, a great game for Jesuit, and I believe we've got Coach Brandon Hickman joining us any minute. Coach, great win tonight. Congratulations on the win. I think I just saw you mimicking the Wambacher pick 6 dance in the sidelines.
35-yard line, yeah.
How great was that play?
That on film. I couldn't believe that, really. I was standing right there, and I saw it. I don't know how he stayed in bounds. I really don't. His nickname's Spider-Man.
Well, Fireband stayed in bounds there. Let's start with the defense. An excellent effort. Kept MacArthur off the board in the first quarter despite a missed field goal, and almost got the shutout they deserve. What a night for your defense, Coach.
Yeah, big night. I mean, we got to be able to stop the run. We did a really good job of that, stopping the run and making them drive the field. And a lot of kids got to play tonight as well that have really worked hard. So real excited with how we played tonight.
Coach, talk to us about this offense. Is a great opportunity for those receivers that you've talked about all year long. Great to have Harlan Buechler back. Clearly the receivers made some great plays tonight. Cade Kirby, 3 touchdowns. What are you most proud of from those guys?
I mean, having them healthy really is the key for us. I mean, having Harlan back was big because we can stretch the defense vertically. And, Cade Kirby's just had a great year all season. I mean, I'm so proud of him. He's a captain and a leader of our team, and he's really stepped up. All these other guys have been injured, so real proud of Cade.
All of these guys, coming off a tough loss last week. This one sets you up well to go home, defend the home turf against homecoming, and then ultimately try to earn yourself a spot in UIL playoffs. How important is this win mentally, between the ears? How big is this win tonight?
It's a big win. We want to control our own destiny, right? So we'll enjoy the win tonight, but then we got to get ready to go next week. We have a busy week. We have homecoming and a lot of festivities going on. So, but I feel good about this team. It's a mature team. Our leadership's great. We missed Luke Keller tonight. He had surgery this past Wednesday, and so we want to wish him well. He's one of our captains and starting offensive linemen, so I know he wished he could have been here tonight. We're definitely thinking about him.
Coach, we'll get you out of here on this one. What's the message to the guys this week as you prepare for a big game against Richardson homecoming, the last home game during the regular season of the year? You come back with a big win after the loss last week to Lake Highlands. What are you telling your guys in the locker room and at practice this week to get ready for next week?
We got to stay focused. I think that's the biggest thing. Like I said, a lot going on. We've got the SAT, we've got Ranger Day, which is a lot of fun. But we got to remind the guys not to run around and act silly, but have a good time. And so there's a lot going on. So I think mainly is stay focused, focus on like what we can control, which is our attitude and effort, right? And then have a great week of practice and be ready to go next Friday. I know the kids are excited about this game, and like you said, it's homecoming, and we want to do well in front of the home crowd.
Head coach Brandon Hickman, congratulations on the win. Coach, give Kyle a jab in the stomach. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.
42-7 your final score. Jesuit winners tonight at Ellis Stadium, and they advance to 3-1 in District 7 6A play. Next week, join us at Ranger Stadium for homecoming. Kevin, we'll be on the air, but we hope you'll join us in person at Ranger Stadium. Thanks for being a part of it tonight. Kevin, any final thoughts?
Great win tonight for the Rangers, Chris. I think, as we've said, lots of positives to take away. Hope the momentum carries over, and as you mentioned, let's see all the folks that are listening tonight with us in person next week at Ranger Stadium for the big homecoming game against the Richardson Eagles.
For Jesuit students, sophomore Sebastian Dunn and senior Carson Long. For Trey Bell and his excellent team at Tradio. For Chris Martinez, class of 78. For Kevin Fitzsimmons, class of 2011. I'm Chris Ackles, class of 2009. Thanks for joining us tonight. Jesuit 42, MacArthur 7. We'll see you in 8 days for homecoming from Ranger Stadium. Go Rangers. Talk to you then.
Nice job. Ball got it picked off at the 10, the 5. He'll go in for the